right, and welcome to Across the Bar. Today, I'm super excited that one of my really good friends, been longtime friends, super interesting guy, a guy that can literally fall asleep at any time, anywhere, no matter what is going on around in the planet, Mr. Brian Guevara.
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. It's been ages. I feel, did we see each other at all through the whole COVID thing?
We did some virtual Zoom stuff, but
we did. Okay,
hours.
so we did like a happy hour or something like that, right? But,
yeah.
Oh shit! So then it's been over almost like 2 years since I seen you in person.
Yeah. Since we had that one dinner in
what was it?
Filipino restaurant, right? Where we ate with our hands.
Oh yeah. That was fucking dope. You know what? It's actually really cool is that so it's a place. I think it's called Silog.
Okay.
In Torrance, right? And yeah, you're right. That was pretty dope. This is the first time I ever had something like that where like they basically put banana leaves as a table.
Yeah.
And I think we were the only people there, right?
We basically closed it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know. It just felt like a very special occasion because we're the only people there. And then
they had all this food on the table.
Yeah,
banana leaves,
chicharron, and like the rice. I mean, you just eat
it's
with
all
your
communal.
hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking dope. And I remember it was really cool is that we asked them like, hey, do you have booze? And they're like, oh, unfortunately, like we don't. But
yeah, somebody made a run.
There's a Ralph's right around the corner, and
I remember
totally
somebody made a booze run.
Yeah, and we were straight up, I think, drinking like whiskey cokes.
It was either that or wine. I don't remember, but I know we had a good time.
Oh no, we had both.
Yeah.
Because somebody brought whiskey, and then I think we couldn't decide on what it is.
Yeah, because they didn't have a liquor license. So
yeah. But yeah, man, that's a good time.
Like
if that's the last time that I saw you, that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
So really quick, so I met you through Riot Games.
That's right.
Where you were a network engineer in esports. So that's pretty sexy, right, for a network engineer?
It was different.
Yeah,
it was different.
But I'm saying because when I think of network engineers, like bleep blor, I make internet happen, you know.
Basically.
And it's like doing it for like Bank of America. Like how fun could that be? You know, just like
yeah.
Do you get off like making VLANs, like cashier VLAN and a freaking teller VLAN and like
right.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's what they do. But.
Yeah. No, that's what I did actually. My first job, I actually worked at a bank. So
oh really?
It's funny you say that.
Oh, network stuff?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
How did you get started with that? I actually don't even know that about you.
Oh. Going way back, I actually started networking when I was a teenager. So I helped basically network.
Was this in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So professionally, I've been doing it for like 20 years, but like, but I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
But basically, I help network the school's computer.
When you said that you were doing it as a kid, how did that start? Like, was it like, you got a book and you were just kind of like trying to duplicate it yourself?
It all started with video games, dude.
Really?
Yeah. So at the middle school I was at, my friend had just brought in Marathon. I don't know do you know what Marathon is? The video game. So Marathon is like the precursor to Halo, made by Bungie, but it was on a Mac. Mm-hmm. So he brought this game to the computer lab, and we installed it on a bunch of Macs, and we played it on the network. And I go, this is fucking cool, you know. So that's kind of what started me. That's what got me interested into networking. Is like, you can play video games with other friends, with other people, and I helped basically lab up and wire up the computer lab at the school. So that's what started it.
Oh, really? So they let you do that stuff?
Yeah. They were looking for volunteers, and I was already in like the computer program or whatever at the time. So I spent a lot of time in the lab. So I was like, I'll help you.
This is
wire
middle
up.
School?
Yeah.
Damn, that's so crazy.
Yeah, that middle school was awesome because that's what also got me excited about like building robots. They had a special program with I think JPL, but basically they had these Lego sets, and you can build them and basically control them with the computers.
I remember there used to be a competition for that or something like that, where you build robots like that are made out of like Legos and shit.
Yeah. But I could never get into that program because it was so hard.
And so what school is that?
It was Thomas Starr King Middle School in LA.
Oh, in LA.
Yeah.
Did you live there or did you? Oh, okay. Because it seems like, I mean, the most high tech that I got was, and I was like in a gifted program.
Yeah.
It was playing like Oregon Trail.
That's also what started it. Yeah, I got plucked from a bunch of kids playing Oregon Trail. All these computer games basically, but like learning games, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's essentially
Carmen San Diego.
That's
that was
right.
big too.
That's right.
Well, dude, thanks for coming down. I know you're like in San Diego and making the trek over here. And thank you for bringing this this actually really good rum. Surprisingly, it's from Colorado. Breckenridge rum cast finish.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Smooth. It's not.
It's fucking smooth because this is our second drink, and like I don't taste it, but I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, so then you know you left Riot Games, the wonderful world of esports.
Yeah.
And so you know, kind of, you know, you said you started like at a bank, and then you do something which I think most people think is really cool, right? As far as like being a network engineer for video games, right? That's kind of like the dream.
Yeah.
And that's always made me really curious about you on most. I think most people would just say, "I made it. Why do anything else?" You know what I mean? And from what I know, it wasn't necessarily complicated what you were doing, right? As far as networking goes,
No,
right?
it was. I was bored out of my mind within the first 6 months.
And so, and that's why I think you're such like a special person, because I think most people would have just said, "Hey, I get paid pretty well. This is fucking easy. I get to travel everywhere." And then when I tell people what I do, people are just like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." You know? So what do you think that is in you that makes you say, "No, I need something more challenging"?
That's always been me, man. Like I'm always all about personal growth, right? So like within the first 6 months, I realized, yeah, this is not going to be my long-term thing.
Yeah.
Right. And it got to a point where I was basically doing the same thing every time. So basically I felt like I was basically like a roadie for like these pro players, right? Nothing wrong with being roadies, right? But like I wanted more.
Oh, right? That's so interesting because it does kind of become that.
Yeah, I mean, you were there.
Yeah.
We did events together, and that's basically what it felt like, right? Like there was just very repetitive things, and it was the same every city we went to.
Yeah, because at least like on my end, you know, it's like, hey, like we need an IT person. We need to make player rooms, right? So here I am, like been doing IT for over 20 years. And I go back to, I'm just building computers. Right.
And to me, it was just, like, it was just cookie cutter stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes the same thing, repetitive, same thing every time.
And that's all I'm doing is just building computers, taking monitors out of boxes. And, you know, like if I barely started. And so, actually, that's fucking really funny story. Remember when we were in Mexico City?
I don't remember a lot of Mexico City, but
I just remember being in Mexico City and... because we were roomies.
Yeah, that's how we met.
And that is how because I had heard so many stories from our friends, like, "Oh man, you're bunking with Guevara, dude.
Nah,
he's
I don't believe those
fucking
stories.
fun. He's
don't
so fucking
stories.
fun to hang out with." So when I first met you, I already knew so much about you from like people that had done events with you. And you're such a cool, like outgoing guy. You're down for like, you know, to do anything. You don't care if like, you don't know anything about, you know, you don't speak the language or whatever it is. You're just like, I'm just there to have a good time. And I just remember hearing that about you. And I think you even told me that, yeah, you can just fall asleep.
Who said that?
Instantly. Somebody else told me that.
I'm sure a lot of people have told you that.
And then you told me that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, dude, I just love sleep. I can fall asleep like instantly.
It's a superpower, man.
Oh, I did not know how much of a superpower it was because I remember we were waiting on somebody to get ready so that we can go out.
Yeah.
And we went from like this to like,
me snoring.
I'm going to take a little nap, literally like in 1 minute. Like, how is it that you're still animated and then you're like, I'm going to take a nap like a fucking robot. Boom.
Yeah. Shut down.
Yeah.
Completely out. Yeah.
And then waking you up was hard. I remember that.
As always, yeah.
But then, like, as soon as like you wake up, you're like, okay, good, I'm good.
Yeah,
amazing.
Down for round 2. Yeah,
it made me question whether you are human or not because I've never seen anybody do that.
It's I love it, especially on planes and flying. It helps.
I can't. For some reason, it's not that I have anxiety or anything like that. Like when I fly, like I feel once you actually know how planes work, that you're a lot less nervous about that stuff. You know? But it's just like I can't read on a plane. Like if I'm on a flight, it's my catch up time of movies or shows that I would never watch because they have like the first 3 seasons of like I forgot that show where it's about like people that work at Walmart kind of thing.
Okay.
The Superstore or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll never watch this on my own, but on a plane, why not?
Yeah, you got no other choice. Yeah. Except sleep.
You know what's also too funny is the traveling thing, because I'm sure when you would talk to people or they would see your social media and you're like in freaking Germany, France, Mexico, like Brazil, that they're just like, oh my God, you're so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does kind of get old after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think that is?
Especially when you're doing the same thing. I mean, it's the same grind every city, right? It's the same thing.
I think what a lot of people don't know is like, especially like, because I'm still there and like, we have worlds and stuff and everybody's like, oh my God, it's in this place. Like, I can't wait to go. But what people don't know is that like, it's a production. So, a lot of the times,
hours and just,
you start at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you're on your feet all day.
Yeah. Sometimes
you
up
don't
until
leave
10, 11 p.m.
Yeah. And you don't leave the venue till like 11 p.m. And then these crazy fools like Brian Guevara want to go out for drinks later, stay out till 3 or 4 in the morning.
We only were able to do that because there was a lot of downtime during that as well, right? Like once we had all this stuff done, it was just a waiting game for someone to break or somebody needed something, right? Yeah. But it was a lot of downtime. I mean, we played a lot of fucking Space Team. Remember that? So, I mean, and a lot of napping too.
Yeah, man. But they're fun because it ends up like it ends up being that you're traveling with friends a lot of the time, so that makes it a lot of fun. But it's hard, long hours.
It is
very little sleep.
Yeah, I mean it's fun for the first few times, but once you have it down, it becomes repetitive and becomes pretty boring to me. So, but yeah, I mean it was awesome because like I got to meet you, I got to meet everybody in the team, and I've had really good friendships then. So since then, so yeah, I'm grateful for that.
And then so again, you leave that awesome job that I always get told like we get thousands of applications for that stuff, but you're like, I'm bored of it. And so after that, I think you went to JPL, right? Was it right after that?
Yeah. Basically, after
Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Is that what it stands for?
Yep. Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena.
So what do they do?
So basically, they're a subcontractor for NASA. I mean, they build the space robots, and they maintain the Deep Space Network, which is the network in space to talk to all the robots. So that was pretty fucking cool.
How does that work?
How does that work?
Is there a really long Ethernet cable somewhere?
A lot of wireless, actually. No, so they actually have 3. They call them. The network's called DSN, Deep Space Network, and they basically have 3 gigantic satellite locations on Earth. There's one in Spain, there's one here in California, and one in Australia.
Mm-hmm. So is the one in California at JPL? Or
no, the one in California is actually by Bakersfield.
Okay.
I forget what city it's called, but it's close to Bakersfield or Barcelona, but basically on the way to Vegas. And the one in Spain is in Madrid. Mm-hmm. And then I think the one in Australia is Canberra. But that's basically how they talk to all the space robots.
Do they have to be like in a remote? I'm assuming like those locations are kind of like are there for a reason? Like in those regions?
I think they strategically placed them there because basically I think I don't know 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but basically as the Earth rotates, there's always a constant connection to the relays, the satellites, and orbiters, and all that basically bounce the signals off. So that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah,
man. And so. What do the robots do over there?
Fucking everything, man. The rovers, it was pretty cool. I mean,
and did you get to see that stuff, or? I
got to see some of the prototypes they were building, like the second rover they sent out to Mars. I got to see some of that development and see that. I was there for a couple launches. So some wild stuff they do for sure.
And so, so you said like it's pretty much like NASA, right? Yeah. I'm assuming when you compare the employees that work there versus like Riot, it's got to be vastly different, right?
Very different. Yeah. So JPL is it's like the opposite of a startup, but they're trying to change that culture. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of people there that have been there for decades, right? Because they have.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, half my team have been there for 20 plus years, 25 years, 30 years. So like we were the new guard coming in, kind of. The younger generation, right, to kind of inherit and take over this network. So it was like a hybrid almost, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a different culture for sure. But it was still fun. You know, the people I work with were great, and got to touch old stuff and new stuff, and it was pretty cool to see all that.
Yeah, because see, when I think of like places like that, and especially now that you say that, people have been there for decades.
That's unreal to me, but
yeah, I mean, that's so crazy that still exists, you know. But was it weird with you being kind of, you know, this young guy going to a place where it's a lot of veterans in there? Because what ends up happening, at least in my experience, is that people end up start being like really like trying to protect their
there's a lot of that.
Their gig, their
That's
craft.
why I left.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced that too, where like, you know, something happens like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, how did you do it? Right. Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually I started picking up. I'm like, oh, you think I'm after your job? You know, like you
That's
see
exactly what happens.
It's like you see the writing on the wall, like, oh, they hired this young guy because, you know, I've been doing this for this much.
Right.
And they want me to work on spreadsheets when I just do notepads. That's the way I do it. You know, I write everything in this book.
That was a problem there, and that's why I left. You know, I felt like some of the team members I work with I felt threatened. But all I wanted to do was just add value to the team, right? Like same thing with Ryan. I mean, that's why I left. I just wanted to add value to the team, and since I wasn't going to get that opportunity, I left. So,
and then so after that, was that Bird?
No, so Bird was the other job. I went to another startup in Culver City, which was a complete different industry from what I'm used to. Basically, what's interesting is that every job I've had has been in a different industry.
Yeah.
So after JPL, I went to go work for a startup called Clutter. Basically, it was like a tech startup for self-storage, right?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about using them because don't they do like some really, I mean, I don't even know if they're still in business because it seemed kind of crazy to me because like they were telling me that it's whatever you want to put in storage and they take pictures of everything or something like that.
They take pictures of the stuff they box up and basically store it in a giant warehouse for you. And anytime you want it back, you give them a call or you request it and they bring it back to you within.
And then you're just like, oh, give me that vase that I have in there.
Yeah. So I thought it was a pretty cool concept, you know, and it was like a leadership opportunity, right? I was going to be like the head of IT while doing networking. But what I didn't know that it was a 2-person team. It was me and this other guy. So for a 1,000-person company.
Wow.
So yeah. So
you're the head of IT and IT.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I struggled. I learned a lot though. I mean, I think they're still around. They've made some acquisitions recently after I left. But yeah, I don't know how they're doing, but yeah. And then after that, I went to go work for Bird.
And then where are you at now?
So I'm at a company, a biotech company based out of the Bay Area, but I work in San Diego. Work from home, but yeah, based in San Diego.
What does a biotech company do?
So the biotech company is called Garden Health. They basically, what we do is we do early cancer detection using blood samples. So we take some blood and we analyze it and we go through our system and basically tell you whether or not you have cancer or what it is or what certain patterns we see in DNA.
And how close are you to that stuff?
We're one of the leaders in the space. Like our efficacy rate is pretty high compared to our competition, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I mean, we're basically, the company's been around for like, I want to say like a decade or so, but it feels like a startup. You know, they went public back in 2018, and you know, there's still a lot of room for improvement and process that we got to iron out.
And you're you're a network engineer there?
Yeah, I'm like the lead network engineer there. And we have a pretty big infrastructure team. But as far as like network engineering goes, yeah, I'm basically the lead. So,
you know what I wonder? Because that sounds like really cool and looks like there's a lot of technology involved in that. But like, how is it that they get like the dogs to sniff for cancer?
That I don't know.
They already beat you guys too.
They did.
Yeah,
we can't compete with that.
Instead, bloodhounds.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, man. You know, because it just seems like when I see all the companies that you worked at, it looks like it's something innovative. You know, because like with Riot Esports, especially like how massive it is and stuff.
Yeah, how massive it is now. But yeah, I mean, I was like the first. I was on a 2-person team when the esports team was just being developed.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, is that, it seems like that's kind of like what you like about it, right? Because I mean, the whole thing, like with JPL too, right? Space, robots, like shit that like, you know, you don't get to see every day.
That's right.
Clutter and Bird, they were like two new startups with kind of like these unique
I like trying new
business
things.
models. Yeah.
You know, I like being challenged.
So what is it ideally that you would like to do?
Like, as in, what do you mean?
Like for a job, like, does it feel like kind of like, okay, yeah, this feels right. This is where I'm at.
For a job. Yeah. So that's a good question. You know, I like being technical, right? But I've been doing this for a really long time, and it's just been recently where it's like, you know, I've thought about like moving into like a leadership role, right? Because I had noticed
being a manager and
not just a manager, but like just being, just helping others grow, right? So that's what I realized I'm actually pretty good at, right? Like getting people together, working together. So yeah, I'm getting this opportunity now with this company I'm at, and they're giving me like all the tools and resources to do it. So I'm super stoked, right? So making that transition to a leadership role is just super exciting because it's all new to me.
Yeah, you know, and also sometimes it's kind of weird, right? Because you know, like, oh, what's your dream job? Like, I don't dream about a job. Like, that's not life. You know,
I had my dream job. It was JPL. And then I left because I got frustrated.
Yeah, maybe until they changed the culture.
Yeah.
Did you leave on good terms? Like, would you go?
Yeah, I think I had a really good rapport with everybody else but certain people there.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, I'm still in touch with a lot of them. So, yeah.
But anyway, dude, check this out. What I forgot I was going to show you this fucking awesome thing that
you still have the book. Did you even open it? Holy
absolutely,
shit.
but I keep it in this plastic thing because I love it so much.
It's not like a collector's item or anything.
I know, but it's an Apple. Why it has that? I have no idea. Maybe you can explain it to me.
So basically that photo book I made using photos from my iPhone. And at the time, Apple offered this service where you can you can get photo books made, right? Photos printed from Apple. Yeah. I'm sure they subcontract or whatever, but yeah. So that's why it has the Apple logo.
Well, dude, so it's a Whistler for Corazón de Vida 2015. You want to talk about like why you did this? Because this is fucking awesome. It's basically a whole bunch of pictures of a motorcycle trip that you did, right?
Yeah, dude. So back in 2015, I decided to go on this epic motorcycle trip by myself to basically raise funds for this charity called Corazón de Vida. Basically, what they are is they're a charity that works with orphanages in Baja, Mexico.
Okay.
They do like bus trips and fundraisers and basically help the kids out there. I first started working with them back in like 2008 with my sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been working with them for a long time, and you know, I haven't done like a bus trip with them, but yeah, I mean, that trip, basically I had this crazy idea to like, hey, why not go on this motorcycle trip and vlog about it and tell people about this charity and you know, people can donate or whatever. And that's what they did. Right. So yeah, I basically did a 5,000 mile road trip on a motorcycle.
5,000?
Close to 5,000. Yeah. Basically I went to Canada, Whistler, Canada.
Yeah.
And then back in 2 weeks. And I was basically camping out at a different city every night and just vlogging my journey at the same time. So it was pretty epic.
Did you camp?
Yeah. I had my camping gear. I had my food on my bike. I mean, the first 2 nights I spent with friends, but actually first 3-4 nights. But the majority of it, I was basically camping at a different city.
And how did you get involved in that originally? Like, what made you want to basically help out?
That's a really good question. I mean, when I was at Riot, I had so much time off, right? That was the weird thing about that is like I had so much time off, I didn't know what to do with. So I'm like, all right, well, I have 2 weeks off, right, in June. Let me try something crazy, right? And yeah, I had this idea. I actually coordinated that trip and this fundraising thing with the head of Corazón de Vida, and there's a picture of him with me with them. Basically, it's like, hey, I have this crazy idea. I want to go on a motorcycle trip and vlog about it and kind of take people on this journey with me as I go along while bringing awareness to the charity, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did. They were super excited about that, and they supported me, and I got some sponsorships. And yeah, I just went ahead and did it, and I basically planned everything. I was basically every city I was at, I knew where I was going to stay, but I didn't know where I was stopping for gas. Like I had an idea, right? So yeah, I had a whole itinerary planned out, and I adjusted as I went along. So yeah, it worked out at the end. It was fun.
And so when you're
hard, very hard, but fun.
Yeah. What was hard about it?
I mean, I'm by myself, right? And I'm on this motorcycle for 8, 10, 12 hours, right? I think the longest trip I did was from Portland, Oregon to Whistler, Canada, which was, I didn't show up to Canada at my friend's hotel until about 3 or 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So I was on the road for about 500 miles.
Oh, so, wow, dude. I mean, that's hard enough on a car.
Right.
You know, and freaking doing it on a motorcycle. Jeez.
It was wild because I show up to the Canadian border with my motorcycle at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're like, "What the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
You know, like they thought I was smuggling shit in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So, you know, they eventually let me through with my passport and all that. But yeah, I mean, it was just very hard because it was like really long, scenic. But like, yeah, I mean, it's hard riding a motorcycle for any extended length of time, but it was fun. Like
would you do it again?
Fuck yes. Yes. I every day, every time I get an opportunity, it's like, where else could I go? Like, what else could I do? Cause that was like a super challenging thing to do. Right. And to like actually raise funds and people like you that donated to the cause, like that was pretty amazing. You know, that was like one of my favorite things to do. And I want to commemorate that with the photo book.
Yeah.
You know,
it's beautiful. It's like the pictures are fucking gorgeous. Like it's just really well done. Like, because you really do get to see like kind of like the journey of all that. And like, you know, definitely some FOMO there. Like, oh man, it'd been so cool to do this too.
Yeah. I mean, I took everything. I took all the photos on my iPhone. So I did everything. I vlogged it on my iPhone, and yeah, everything was through my iPhone. So. And,
did you run into any crazy shit while you're doing that?
Yeah, I dropped my bike the second day and I broke my brake pedal.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so
most people would have said, all right, this is done. I'm going
I
back.
thought about it. Yeah, so I had just left my buddy's place from San Jose, and I was on my way to Oregon, and I think I was at the Gold Coast, like somewhere. I had just entered Oregon, and my bike was fully loaded with all my gear, my food, my camping gear, water, whatever. And it was heavy as fuck, right? So yeah, I stopped, and I was at a parking lot to take a break, and I was trying to go, and I don't know what happened, but I slipped and I dropped my bike, and it landed on the right side, and it broke the brake pedal like bolt or whatever, and I'm like, fuck.
What kind of bike did you have?
So I did that trip on a Honda VFR. So it was like a 2002 Honda VFR. So it's like a sport bike, right? So it's not the most comfortable thing, but it wasn't bad. But yeah, I mean, there was stuff like that where it's like, I picked the bike up. I got some help to pick the bike up because I couldn't do it myself. And I look at it, make sure nothing's broken. Sure enough, the brake pedal was broken.
Yeah,
it was
I know
crazy.
the brake pedal's broken, but like, are you... At that point, do you have to get it towed, or
no? So what I did was I took the brake pedal, I stuffed it in my suit, and I found like the nearest O'Reilly auto parts store, and basically found like a similar bolt and fixed my brake pedal right in the parking lot, and I kept going.
You know, I feel like a lot of motorcycle people, I feel that's a skill that they kind of also have. It's like how to fix kind of your own shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And I was prepared as much as I could. I mean, you should have seen pictures of my bike. Like, it was fully loaded with more than it should have been. And I had tools. I felt like a Boy Scout. You know, I was like ready, like for anything to go. And I had an emergency tire repair kit. I had, you know, whatever it is, I thought I was prepared for. So.
And so when you're doing that stuff, like, are you stopping at bars or like restaurants or?
No, I kept going. So basically I had, what is it called? Basically, it's like a portable camping stove, right? And like air dried food for camping and stuff like that for backpacking. So I was basically like, I went on this trip thinking like I was a backpacker, right? So I had most of my food with me. And basically what I would do is I would stop at rest stops and like eat and just keep going, right? So because I had a lot of miles that I had planned and like there was only so much time, right? So like that was the best thing. And it was just like, yeah, I just stopped for about 15, 30 minutes and then just kept going.
Did you meet any cool people along the way?
Yeah, man. So like I met a bunch of cool people. There was this retired couple. I don't know if it's in the photo book, but it's probably on my Instagram like story or whatever. But yeah, I met this couple. They were on the road doing a cross-country road trip, and I told them what I was doing. And I told them like, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing this fundraising thing for this charity and blah, blah, blah. And they got super excited. So they actually gave money for gas for this trip, just like on
Really?
a whim. Yeah, I didn't even ask for it, but they're just like, here's some money for gas, and there's like $20 or whatever. And I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool, you know? And I vlogged about it, and yeah, it just like, it kept me going. So,
did I ask you already why specifically like that organization?
Well, I mean, I had worked with them in the past, and they're a really good organization that they work with kids down there. And I actually got to go down there with my sister and work with them. And I thought they were doing some really good work. And what's funny about that is the first time I did it, or the second time I did it, I basically told my mom about it. And my mom got super excited because basically, even before I could remember, she said we used to take trips to orphanages in the Philippines to do volunteer work. And I was like, no effing way. You know, so that like got me super excited because like, whoa, I was already like doing it before I even realized I was doing it, right? So that's kind of like the story of my life is like, this is like, it felt natural, you know, to help. And yeah, so it's, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, I think I told you I volunteered yesterday with them again.
Oh, it was with them.
Yeah, with them. So they had a big like party somewhere in Orange County, and basically they're trying to do a big giant fundraiser. So yeah, I worked with them yesterday just to help with their event. And
what were you doing?
Basically like a food server, drink server. Yeah, it was a big party. Everybody was wearing white, and yeah, it was pretty fun. I got to see them again. They remembered me, and Hilda, who is the head of Corazon de Vida, basically told me that she keeps reminding me that because of that trip, that motorcycle trip, apparently, like actually during that trip, Anne Hathaway, the actress, the fucking famous actress, found out about this charity through my trip.
Really?
And donated to their cause during that trip. So every year since then, Hilda says basically she donates $5,000 a year to this charity because of my trip. And I was like, no way. She's like, because of that seed you planted, we get help from Anne fucking Hathaway every year. And I'm like, whoa, that's wild.
No, I think that's awesome, man. And there's some people that feel that
I'm gonna need a refill too.
Yeah. There's some people that feel like, okay, if you're doing like volunteer work, but why are you putting it on social media? Why are you trying to do basically, you know, making it seem like it's all about you, right? But I think what and there may be some people that do it for that reason, but but I think what people also don't understand though is that the way humans work, where I was reading like about these studies where people are more likely to volunteer or help out themselves if they see other people doing it. They're just, you know, because of the exposure that you give to it, or the like, hey, I want to be cool too, you know? And I want to post too that I donated to, you know, Corazon de Vida and stuff like that. And I mean, just think about it. Had you not done that trip, would Anne Hathaway even not ever been involved in this?
I don't know, man. It's wild. It's wild.
But no, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, do you get that? Did you get it from your mom? Because you're saying that you did stuff for orphanages.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where it comes from. I mean, I was raised Catholic, right? Like most Filipino families. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just something about like helping others, right? And yeah, I just feel guilty because I haven't done anything for them in a while, which is why I volunteered to work the event last night. But yeah, they're a really good charity. And
I just think people are so cool because it's like, you don't need to. Like, like you're a young dude. Are you single?
Yeah.
You're a young dude. You're single. You have a great job. You have nice cars. Like you can just tell the world. You can just tell the world, fuck you. You know, I'm doing good. I don't need to help you out.
Right.
But you do, man.
Yeah. Let's just say like I didn't have a good start, right? And I just want to pay it forward. Just in general, right? Okay. Like I struggled a lot when I was a kid, and I just want to pay it forward, right?
Struggle with what?
Just life in general, man. Like I was depressed growing up. Went through therapy when I was a kid, and I'm in therapy again now. So like, I'm still working on myself.
Let's talk about therapy, but let's get a refill.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's do it.
Do you want to do one of these, or I also have beer. I have Coronas. I have Coors Light.
I'll stick to this because I know mixing does not end well.
You want more ice for that?
Yes.
All right, and we're back. So you're talking about going to therapy.
Ooh, that's a lot of alcohol in there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good.
I mixed it, so.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Own it.
Sunday fun day. So I'm sure, like I've never been to therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
No, man, it's like I have my own little therapist in my brain. No, but you know what? Like, a lot of people, I get that now, especially now, I get that reaction a lot more from people. But like,
I'm all about it, bro. All about it.
I know. For me, it's just like, I feel that I don't take life seriously enough.
You don't take life seriously enough.
Yeah. For things to get to me in that sense, where like, I probably do like a lot of rationalizing in my own brain where like, let's say you lose your job and you have a breakup at the same time. For a lot of people, that's a big life
huge.
thing. You know?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like,
who cares?
If that's my biggest problem, I mean, there's some people that are eating out of a trash.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll get through it.
Interesting.
And then, just move. I always do that.
You try to compare it to others or what?
Yeah. And also, you know what? There's this book, I believe it's called Man's Search for Meaning.
Yep.
By Viktor Frankl. Have you read that?
I've listened to the audiobook. It's amazing.
Dude.
It's amazing.
That was my best
Puts
friend.
everything so much into perspective.
Yeah. My best friend
sure.
recommended that to me years ago. And I read it on a flight. Yeah. Actually, the only book I've ever been able to read on a flight, and it's a pretty thin book. So I was able to finish it on the flight.
Yeah,
and it just blew my mind.
Yeah,
that it takes place in
Nazi Germany,
World War II, in a concentration camp, and the fact that there's people out there that in that situation can make the most out of it. If a human being can be in that situation, and still come out happy.
Yeah.
Then, my breakup or me losing my job, it definitely puts stuff like that into perspective.
Right. Yeah, it's a good book. It's one of my favorite books for sure.
But, so, you going into therapy, for a kid for like depression, anger issues and things like that. How was that different? Like from like you said, you started going to a therapist
again. Now, just a couple weeks
was
ago.
it two completely different things? Being there as a kid or being as an adult, or
well, at the time I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just talking to an adult in a room, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I got tricked into going to therapy. By my parents.
How does it that you got tricked? Did they tell you?
Well, they said that we were going someplace, and this place happens to be. I think it was like a police department or whatever. They had a therapist there for kids and stuff like that because I was very violent, very angry as a kid.
Like what kind of shit were you doing? Were you like killing cats and stuff? Or?
No, I was just like always fighting with everybody, like mostly my siblings and my parents.
Oh, okay, like getting into fights,
like physical fights.
Yeah,
yeah, and like my mom didn't know what to do, right? Like, but yeah, I mean, I just had all this energy and this anger, and I got tricked into going to therapy, and I didn't know what it was at the time, and there was some trauma there that we helped fix. At the time, like I didn't know what to make of it, right?
How old are you?
I want to say I was probably 7 or 8.
Oh wow, that's super young.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was even angry because it's like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. I have this problem, like right? So like I didn't think anything of it until years later when I was an adult. And I was like, oh, now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it's so interesting because I mean, the fact that I just think it's really cool that like your mom was just like, hey, like let's give this a shot because for a couple of reasons. Maybe at least in my experience, like being like Mexican, therapy is not a thing, especially in a boy. It's not a thing that like, oh, let's get him therapy. It's like tough.
I don't think it was called therapy or whatever at the time, but it was just like my mom was running out of options, right? And it was just like, how do I fucking control this kid, right? Mm-hmm. I did, the surprising thing is I did really well in school. So I managed to take all that energy and like really succeeded in school.
So you were like a really smart, angry kid.
Yes. Which is, it might be like
which is the worst, because you assume
I could be like an evil genius. I don't even know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And
I'm not.
Like
Disclaimer, I'm
growing
not
up,
an evil genius.
I never really had like any big trauma like that.
Yeah.
But you know, just your typical shit of angry, you know. So growing up, my brother, he was a DJ in Mexico, right? So I grew up in Mexico.
Which part of Mexico?
Puebla.
Puebla. Okay.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo. You know about that?
No, what is that?
Okay, so Cinco de Mayo, or Cinco de Drinko, as they call it here, was a fight in Puebla.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you know. Right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I was just giving you a hard time.
And so because of that, the music that I was, because, you know, grew up listening to was like new wave, because it was the 80s.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Of course.
So, you know, The Cure, Depeche Mode, all the like Mexican freaking default music, you know, that's the thing. I don't know why. It's like, dude, go to Depeche Mode concert, Morrissey or The Cure.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're solely keeping those
That's
people
awesome.
fucking employed, man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like Madonna and all that shit. So I grew up listening to that. And I think we moved to the US, like later in life, being angry, I discovered metal. And dude, it was
interesting.
I know, but here's a funny story about how I discovered my favorite metal band, Metallica. Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know about them or anything like that. And I was an advanced kid, so they gave us the option to have a.
You're an advanced kid?
Like gifted. Or whatever,
okay, yeah.
You know, in one of those programs.
I believe that, yeah.
And so they gave us options to join like certain courses. So I was in the 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
And I chose an elective of French to learn how to speak French, right?
French. Okay.
And so they put me in the high school
class.
In the high school class, right? So it's just like, you know, just so lame. It's like, all right, class, you know, here comes our new student. He's very gifted. Like, already I'm gonna get beat
no
up.
Pressure.
Right?
No pressure.
And it's like, you know, Carlos, you know, and it's just like a bunch of older dudes, and just me like, oh, hey guys. And so I sit next to this dude. Man, what the fuck is his name? It's like John Kudrow or something like
Typical
that.
French name or what?
No. Actually, yeah, he was French, but it's just like your typical, like, you know, white dude, long hair, wearing a band shirt, has fucking drumsticks. You know, it's just like,
yes.
you know, doing that shit, and like the teacher hates him because he's like, you know,
he's a bad boy. Yeah.
And so he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" You know. And then, you know, while the teacher's talking, he's on his CD player, fucking just listening. Right?
That's awesome.
And then, so I was like, "Oh, so what are you listening to?" He's like, "Oh, do you like metal?" I was like, "Not really. Like, I've never really like got into it." And they're like, "Oh, bro, you gotta listen to my band."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm always down." He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'll fucking bring you a tape tomorrow." Right?
Yeah, when cassette tapes were still a thing.
cassette tape. So anyway,
before SoundCloud and YouTube.
So he gives me a tape, and I listen to it. I'm like, "Holy shit, this is really good."
Wait, how old were you around this time?
I don't know.
Like 10,
How old you
11?
are in the 8th grade or something?
Okay.
So I don't know. 12,
Yeah,
13?
12, 13. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, this is really fucking good. This is fucking dope. So anyway, now I'm just like, oh man, like I think I fucking like metal now. And anyway, so I was so proud because I like, dude, check out my friend's band from school.
Yeah.
And people are just like, you know, because a bunch of other little kids too, right? They're like, oh man, that's so cool. And then one time I was playing that tape, and I was like, yeah, this is my friend's band. And I think it was like my friend's brother. He's like, your friend's band? That's Metallica, bro. I was like, what? That's fucking Metallica, Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah, your friend fucking likes you. So I was like, is this fucking Metallica? He died laughing. He was like, ah! I was going to see how long it was going to take you to fucking realize that.
That's funny.
But he's like, yeah, man, fucking Ride the Lightning, best fucking album.
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh, like what other albums do they got? Like, he brought me Kill 'Em All the next day.
Yeah.
He brought me this. And that's, dude, when I fell in love with metal, dude. And after that, I just couldn't get enough. And in my family, we've had like plenty of musicians in there. My mom was a singer, like my grandpa played guitar. And so actually I was taking like Spanish guitar lessons at the time.
Spanish guitar lessons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like flamenco stuff. And I immediately was just like, trade this in. I need an electric guitar. And my parents, they did not want it. They were just like, no, learn how to play like acoustic guitar, And one time, like, we went to Guitar Center and they saw how much that shit was. They're like, definitely not fucking ever getting an electric guitar.
A couple $100,
you have to buy,
right?
Yeah, a couple $100.
You have to buy the amp and the
shit.
distortion pedal and all that bullshit.
Yeah, so they were like, absolutely not.
I had to borrow mine, but yeah, that's funny.
Do you remember Finger Hut? What that was?
Yeah, the catalog.
The catalog,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I got my first computer, through Finger Hut. And also,
are they still around?
Christmas morning, you get your
guitar,
and I get my guitar.
No
from Finger
way.
Hut. Yeah, and because it was like for $100, you got the guitar,
and did you get like a mini amp?
And it comes with
That's
the amp
sick.
already. And it was just so dope, man. Because I mean, that really, like, as far as like any kind of anger or stuff, like I had something like a channel, a way to get that out. You know, especially distortion, guitar, and like,
yeah,
exactly.
Sick.
And what I would do is, because I went to Bellflower High at the time, but I was living in like Bell Gardens area. Do you know where that's at?
Sort of.
So it's like taking a bus over there. So it was like 2 hours. So I couldn't wait to get home. I would get home, eat really quick, and then I would just like lock myself out of my room.
Funny.
And I'd play guitar like all day. Saturdays on weekends, I would get up 10 o'clock in the morning and play till like 8 o'clock at night. I was just obsessed.
Wow.
I'd get all the tab books and like learn how to play like every Metallica song. Like I can't even, I forget how to play them now, but
yeah. That's crazy, bro.
But I found like a good way to channel that stuff out.
Interesting. You had a healthy.
Did you have
channel.
something like that for yourself, or no?
No.
Just beating up on faces, huh?
Just no. That's the thing. Like, my channel was academics, right? I did really well in school.
You
had honors
strike
and all
me
this
as
stuff.
one of those motherfuckers that didn't have to study, huh? Or like the night before, like you wrote the paper and then still got an A, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, school wasn't really a challenge for me. Like it just came so easy. For some reason, I don't know how. And I was actually able, I had enough credits in high school to graduate early, but they wouldn't let me for some reason. Mm-hmm. But yeah, at school, it was just like, that was my way of channeling all this frustrations, right? And just being completely focused on school and like, yeah, I just wanted to live, right? Because to me, school was just like a chapter where I could just, I wanted to get it over with, right? Yeah. Because I already knew at a young age, like I wanted to be in technology. I wanted to be in computers. I wanted to, be part of the internet. And I did, like at 13, after, helping my computer, my school, helping lab up my computer lab, right, at school.
Yeah.
Like I knew I wanted to do that, right? So yeah, I ended up going to school for networking and technology, and yeah, now I'm here.
Like at what age?
So I knew I wanted to be like in technology at like 14.
But like, see, dude, like I wish, man.
Well, originally I wanted to be an architect as a kid, like, design, build houses. But yeah, as soon as they put a computer in front of me, that was it. Like that changed my life. Like that changed my trajectory.
See, I never even knew that those things existed. And that's why, like, I actually, whenever I can, I try to volunteer for different, groups, like for inner cities, like when they need people to talk about technology and stuff like that.
I remember we did that one thing.
God. Yes, totally.
Like 6 years ago.
Man, that was so
awesome.
Ago. Yeah,
like
at Bellflower High, my high school.
Yeah,
but stuff like that, where basically what we did, we went to my high school, and because they had a League of Legends club, right?
That's right.
Yeah, League of Legends club.
This was when I was still at Riot.
Yeah, and so what they wanted to do is they wanted to just bring people over just to talk to them about your job, basically.
Yeah.
And I try to get like my friends,
artists,
different friends with, that do different things, and I try to get like Asian person, white person, I try to get everybody, because
that was the deal. Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Well, no, because what it is like what I feel is very important is when there's kids like in inner cities, when they can see somebody that looks like them.
Yep.
Up there. You know, I think it just hits harder, right? Because if I would have just brought, like, I don't know, like nothing but white people, right? And that they're engineers, they're artists and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, that's really cool. But I
what about someone like me?
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, here comes Brian, freaking tatted, probably like a mohawk at that time.
No, I was bald at the time. But yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, okay. I feel like it just it's more impactful that way.
Right. That was fun. That was fun.
Because they love it. They eat it up, man. They still talk about like the teachers and stuff. I've never seen these kids more excited, more engaged, you know, because they have,
it's a different generation now.
Yeah. And then, you know, I mean, just think about your kid growing up now and like you have some people from one of the biggest video game companies come out and they want to talk to you. And it was like on a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were just like, I can't believe that kids came here come to a school on a Saturday.
Yep.
But after that, like, what's my whole point in this? About, you know, just trying to do that stuff because, like I said, like when I was growing up,
like you didn't know what to do.
I didn't know that what the fuck a network engineer was.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know.
I mean, I didn't know what that was either, but I knew that like I wanted to be in technology, and I just decided, oh, I don't know networking. I'm gonna go into networking. Like, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I just think also like kids today are, I mean, it's kind of by necessity, but I just love the fact that there's coding classes.
Yeah,
super
that's
early,
amazing,
right? I'm like, man,
yeah.
Imagine like instead of playing Carmen Sandiego, they taught me how to code. I'd be balling right now.
Yeah,
you know?
So that's funny you say that. So during summer school, like I was 12, 13 or whatever. That same middle school I went to, they offered like HTML classes. This was right before, this was when like web browsers were just a thing, where you can like use a web browser to browse the internet. Like that was a thing. It's like, oh, there's this thing called HTML. You can like code web pages, right? I was like, oh, I don't know that. Let me go take that summer school. And dude, it was the fucking best decision ever. Cause like after school, we would basically go play that game Marathon for hours on end. Right after the first class ended and second class ended at like noon, we would literally have like a LAN party at the computer lab playing Marathon, and like that was the shit. You know, it was so much fun.
I got into computers like in a very weird way. So I had a friend who had a computer.
Yeah.
And you know, just play games on it. And so I'd go over his house, and then you know we'd play games. And so I wanted a computer. And just how much my parents were just like $100 for a guitar. You're insane.
$1,000 for a computer.
$1,000
Fuck
for
off.
a computer. Fuck off.
I was the same thing. I didn't get my first computer until I was like 13.
And so my dad was like very, he was a cheap one. You know, mind you, he was the one that worked.
Sure.
And I know I could like butter my mom up. You know, like, Mom, it's like for school, like everybody's typing.
Of course, for school, for science.
Like, you know, they have an encyclopedia that you can like put on there.
Yeah.
So I worked with my mom, and eventually, they bought a computer.
Nice.
Right? You know, they bought a computer, but this was back when like the computer didn't even have a hard drive.
Oh,
like if you wanted a hard drive, because it was the ones that were like a shoebox. Like hard drives, I mean, that was like back in the
early 90s,
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so my dad was like, this is for school and educational purposes.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
This is not a Nintendo. Because, you know, back then, like for parents, any video game was a Nintendo. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And of course, the first thing I did was like install Prince of Persia on there. but because I didn't have a hard drive, everything had to be played like
off the disc.
Yeah. And that's it. Couldn't save or anything like that. Or maybe it could save on the RAM. But anyway, I think it was like 1 megabyte.
That's
RAM,
funny,
right?
man.
So anyway, so I started playing. And back then, like to launch the game, you had to fucking like, you know, go through DOS and like auto accept bad and like this. And I had fucked something up. Like, because I was doing commands and it wouldn't start up.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't start up. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in so much fucking trouble.
The computer wouldn't start up, but the game wouldn't start up.
No, the computer wouldn't load.
Oh, shit.
Right? It was just like black screen cursor, you know? And
damn.
what I remember is I told my mom, like, I need to go to the library for some school stuff. So like, okay, yeah, great. And man, I just checked out every book on computers that I possibly could on troubleshooting it and all that stuff.
No way.
Yeah. Until eventually, like, I was just like reading through it and like, oh, if your computer won't start up. I was like, no, okay, all right.
This is pre-Google.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, I did something. I'm like, oh, it did something.
Yeah.
It fucking did something. And then it loads, right?
That's
I think it was like
awesome.
Windows 3.11 too at that point.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And
damn, that's
I was
way
but
back.
and I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like the fact that like something was broken and I was able to just like fix it.
Yeah.
But see, like unlike you, where it just seems kind of like that just led to more and more things that you were interested in technology. I once I discovered music, that just took a backseat.
Yeah.
Together because I was just like it was all about playing guitar. And it wasn't until later where in high school, my best friend in high school at the time, she was on the internet. Right?
Yeah,
This is
that was cool shit.
new.
Yeah.
It's like she was on BBS's.
Oh fuck yeah!
And so she's like, oh, like, get in on this. I was like, I
spent a lot of time on BBS's when I was.
And she's
a
like,
kid.
let's make you a handle, like, and stuff. This was
before Facebook and Instant Messenger and all this bullshit.
And so it's a bulletin board system, where you can chat with other people from other places.
Mm-hmm.
And what was so cool is because we'd talk to people from all over the place. And then once a month, we do a meetup.
No way.
At Disneyland.
What?
Yeah. And so we'd all meet up. And it was a bunch of fucking like nerds.
Nice.
And that's kind of like what really got me into the whole nerd culture. Because that's how like I found out about anime and like, Japan.
Yeah.
All that kind of crazy shit like Star Wars. Star Wars is actually, what's funny about Star Wars, about it being nerd culture, is like Star Wars was huge.
Yeah.
It's always been huge. It's always been huge.
But like it was part of mainstream already.
Yeah, like but Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, or The Next Generation.
All the nerd shit.
It
was already mainstream.
Yeah, but it really got me into that stuff. And then I don't know. It was just sort of introduced me to all like what would be considered like nerdy stuff.
Yeah, the counterculture and shit. Yeah.
But I just thought it was just the fucking coolest thing. But I never really if I use that, it'd be at her house.
Yeah.
And one day, and this is like after high school already.
Okay.
One of my friends was. We're like, oh, we should get jobs.
Real jobs.
We should get jobs. Because I was working at Sears at the time, I think.
Oh,
or
shit.
Sears or TJ Maxx. Oh, no. I was working at Sears in their video game department. Right? And it was called Funtronics. By the way, you want to know a shitty job? Sears in the kids department. Because, the video game part was cool, but like the rest of it, like you also had to work the rest of it.
Yeah.
And they used to have like this... it's a cool program for like when your kids outgrow stuff, you can actually return that. Yeah, for credit. Yeah, so it's like, hey, they outgrow, because kids outgrow shit like pretty quick actually.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, these are these overalls, these pants and stuff, and then you'll get some credit and they can buy like new stuff.
I wonder, is that still a thing? Because that would make sense.
I don't know.
Sears,
Sears
you wouldn't
is not
have
a thing
so much
anymore,
waste. Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
wow.
Imagine every single day picking up after a kid's
I'm
apartment.
I'm good.
Fuck. That's why don't bitch at me about my job is hard.
Right.
Like,
retail's hard.
Yeah,
sure.
retail's hard.
Wow.
But so I was like, oh, I should get a different job. And we saw that Best Buy was hiring. They had a job fair.
This was when Best Buy was like a startup.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like just starting out.
A little bit. No,
because they started out like in the 90s.
Yeah. No, this was like. Yeah, no, this was 1998, 99.
Yeah, that's when they were like starting to become big.
Yeah. This is like when they're popping off like new Best Buy, new Best Buy, new Best Buy.
Yeah.
And so I got hired as a cashier.
Okay.
Right. So I got hired.
You worked at Best Buy? Holy shit! I didn't know that.
I got hired as a cashier, and they hated me as a cashier. Why? Because I can't sit still, and I love talking to people. Right. So I'm just like, oh, let me go to the media department, which is like where like the DVDs are at and all that stuff, and I'm just shooting the shit. They're like, Carlos, please return to your register. Carlos, please return to your register. But they liked me, right? But they were like trying to figure out what to do with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? we're going to promote you to customer service. So
Okay.
returns and exchanges. Why? Because at that point, you're not just stuck, line, like you can move around.
Yeah.
Because you're a cashier, you're just in this little thing.
Yeah.
But in customer service, you can move around, you can talk to people. Kudos to the manager that kind of saw that, right? That was like, you know what?
That's a good manager.
Yeah.
You recognize something in you.
And I think I'm still friends with him to this day on
No
Facebook.
way.
Edward Moriarty. He was the coolest manager, but like the coolest manager in the sense, especially of returns and exchanges, because he was always so cool, and he would talk like this, no matter what
Super
the
mellow.
situation is.
Wow.
To
I
the
can't
point,
do that.
No, to the point where it would anger people. Because, you have somebody like, I'm trying to return this. This shit doesn't fucking work.
That's wild.
Absolutely no problem. Let's see what we can do.
I can't do that.
I know.
I get excited.
And some people are like, why are you talking like that to me?
Yeah. People
like-
can't handle that.
And he's like, what do you mean? This is how I talk.
Yeah.
That's how you talk. You're being condescending. Anyway.
Wow.
So I think I've told the story before, but so I started working the customer service return exchanges. One of the funniest things that ever happened to me was somebody trying to return a TV. And I'm just like, okay, this looks hella old. And it was like one of those little TV VCR combos.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh.
I had one of those.
And
The 13 inch.
There's roaches.
Oh.
I can see like little dead roaches. Like,
No.
So like that. It's like, but I have the service plan. I'm like, yeah, but like, look, like number 14, any kind of fucking insect infestation. No. She got so mad, dude, with my cat-like reflexes. She threw the TV at me, and because of my cat-like reflexes,
No way.
yeah, fucking hit the wall. They called the sheriffs. Pretty crazy.
No way.
I should have let that shit hit me, dude. I could have been balling right now.
Workers' comp, baby.
But okay, back to the story of how I ended up doing like IT shit.
Yeah. So that was like your first like tech job or what?
No, because I was just like,
Okay.
I was just a return.
But you were in like a tech company.
Yeah,
tech
I
store.
guess,
You were in
right?
a
'Cause it
tech
has
store.
TV,
Yeah.
cell phones and all that stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I've had some crazy jobs. Before that, I was like at Sears and then telemarketing.
Okay.
As well.
I never
That was
done
fun.
telemarketing.
Telemarketing, you know what's funny about telemarketing? Pretty much every there is a former convict. I was
Former
like,
convict.
yeah, I was like,
Okay.
because it's like they don't like, oh, do you have a felony? You're like, check. They're like, all right, you're good.
You're right.
Don't worry about it.
Oh wow.
But so anyway, so I was customer service, and they had like the little back then it wasn't Geek Squad. It was called like computer services or something like that.
Yeah.
And they used to do like camcorder cleanings, VCR cleanings, and then computer repair. And so I had a couple, the dudes that were there.
Yeah.
I'd go back there and like kind of shoot the shit with them. And when they go to lunch, they'd be like, "Hey, Carlos, can you just like keep an eye on the line?" Yeah, sure, whatever. And I was always kind of curious, like, mind you, at this point, I don't own a computer, and I don't even know how to make a folder.
Shit.
I don't know how to right click new folder.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that yet. And this is like 1999. So I would just kind of like, just check out what they're doing. Be like, oh, okay. But it's all kind of like just meh to me, right?
Yeah. You weren't interested yet.
Yeah. And then there's fucking like this tall black dude named Kenny. Fucking cool. Look kind of like.
Wait, did he work there? Or
Yeah, he worked there. He was one of the
okay.
techs, right? He looks kind of looked like Bubba Gump, like the
From
like
Forrest
Bubba
Gump.
from Forrest Gump.
All right.
It's
a good movie,
Because
though.
yeah, big
Classic
old
movie.
lip, like bottom lip. That's what everybody called him Bubba because he had the bottom lip. And
Jesus.
and so he was fucking cool as fuck because he didn't give a fuck. And so he'd go out on smoke break all the time, right? The thing is, at that time, that Best Buy had this thing called core hours. So like from 6 to 8 p.m., you couldn't take a lunch, you couldn't take a break, so you had to do everything back then because that's when it was.
That's
like
when people
super
would come
packed.
in after work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So Kenny's like, "Yo, going for a cigarette break," and
During those hours.
Yeah, and our manager, the store manager's there, and he sees him walking. He's like, "Hey, Kenny? Where are you going, bro?" Gonna go to smoke break. It's dead. no, man, you know better. Like, dude, these are core hours. Mind you, there's not a single person in the tech area.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So he's just like, fuck it. And he's like, yeah, but it's dead. Doesn't make sense. Like, if you
I do the same
he's
thing,
like, I'll
yeah.
be back in 15 minutes.
Right.
Kenny, don't you walk out that door. You need to get back. And he was like, no, I don't. You're not my dad. And he's like, Kenny, if you walk out that door, don't you come back.
Wow.
And Kenny said, fuck you. I'll come with my paycheck next Friday. Bye.
No way.
And he walked out.
Holy
And
shit.
Kenny walked fucking out like a fucking hero. Like
Whoa.
a goddamn hero. Anyway, so then this dude's fucking pissed, right? He's like, fucking Kenny, you know, fuck that guy. Da, 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 da. We're like, we've never heard him cuss like that. He's like, Carlos, you know.
Was this like a manager or something?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he was a
manager.
store manager.
He was a store manager.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's like, he's like, Carlos, do you know anything about computers? I'm like, absolutely not. And he's like, well, fuck it. You don't need to. I just need a body in there. So, they're going to work customer service line, then you're going to work the tech area.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. And he's like, look, listen, tell him that a tech piece of shit, Kenny,
Damn.
walked out. And so you're just covering that and be honest that you don't know anything, but you're going to you're just going to check the machines in.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. Yeah, that works. And so it was like that. I'm obviously not going to tell him that piece of shit Kenny walked out because he was a hero in my eyes. But I was like, hey, like I'm just covering because like our techs, they called out and they're like, okay, cool. Like I'm writing everything down.
That's what I noticed. If you're like upfront with people and transparent, like they don't care. Like they appreciate that.
Yeah,
they're more understanding.
Communication's key with anything.
Yeah.
And so I checked in all the computers and all this, and then the next day, same manager's like, hey, until we hire somebody, I'm gonna need you to cover at least for this week.
Jeez, all right, no pressure.
I'm like, cool, but
Did you get paid
I'm
more?
just checking. No,
Fuck.
I'm just checking in machines. Like, yep, that's all I needed you to do. So basically, I started from 4 p.m. to like 9 p.m. just checking machines.
Damn.
Right? And and some people were obviously frustrated, right? Because like usually they would come in, it was something simple, and then they'd go home.
Yeah.
After that, like, and the other guys were just like, oh man, thanks for coming, Carlos. That's fucking great. But at that point, I was just like, oh, maybe I should, if I'm going to be doing this thing, like, hey, so what are you doing? Like, well, this person brought it in because the computer freezes. And so I'm just kind of checking the RAM. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, so why would RAM cause that?
Yeah.
So I just kind of started like,
getting
picking
curious.
up stuff. Yeah. And one of my buddies that I made there named George, his brother was like super fucking smart. He was like, he was a tech, but not working in retail. He was working like in corporate environment. So he was a real IT
like a
guy.
real job, right?
A real IT
yeah.
guy. And so I kind of like became good friends with him. And so I started hitting him up, right? So it's like I would check a computer in, and there was nobody in line. I was just like, man, let me plug this thing in. And I was just like, hey Andy, dude, hey, sorry to bug you, man. So I have this computer, right? That's like doing this. He's like, oh, okay. Like, well, try doing this thing. Oh shit, that worked. Oh, okay, cool, man. Thanks. And a lot of the computer stuff, like it's just repetition. It's like it could only be a couple of things.
Yeah.
At some point,
A lot of the problems are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, so then maybe I had to do that for like a month.
Okay.
Until eventually the store manager's like, hey, so how do you like doing this thing? I was like, it's actually pretty dope. I don't know that much about it, but
yeah.
But I'm learning.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put you in the morning shift where there's 2 other guys, and I need you to soak up everything.
Sweet. Sweet.
And that's kind of really how everything started. That's, after
awesome.
that, like I just shadow people and like just start troubleshooting things on my own. And then the same thing, just kind of like start researching books and checking them out in libraries. And finally, during one of those Thanksgiving sales, day after Thanksgiving, I got an e-machine.
Nice. From Gateway or whatever?
No, they're called e-machines.
E-machines.
E-machines is like the cheapest computer you could possibly buy. So the day after Thanksgiving for $300. for $300.
I'm trying to remember because I back in the day, yeah, it was Gateway, right?
The Cal one,
Packard
remember?
Bell,
Yeah.
fucking
Packard
Compact. Yeah,
Cal-
those were the big
Packard Bell,
things.
yeah.
And IBM, of course.
Yeah, so those were like the big ones. So
E-machines.
the E-machines would be like the Daewoo of computers. You know what I'm saying?
The Hyundais or
Yeah.
whatever.
But Hyundais are cool now.
Now they
Yeah.
are. It only
But
took them
when
30
When
years.
it first came out,
Right.
bro, if you had one of
Yeah.
those,
Yeah,
you were broke.
that's crazy.
But yeah,
E-machines.
after Thanksgiving sale, I for the computer, the monitor, the printer, and like some accessories or something like that, it was like $300.
Jesus.
Yeah, fucking amazing. So I got that, and it was just like, oh, those break down, and like, I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
the
need it
cheapest
for that shit.
components and
Yeah.
parts.
And yeah, dude, I actually eventually became a manager.
No
a
way.
tech manager there.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I hated it though.
Why? Because it's retail.
No. A couple things. Like, I'm actually, I feel like I'm a bad manager.
Okay.
Because like, why don't you just do it?
What do you mean?
You know, like, why do I have to tell people like, hey, you should be doing your job?
Okay.
You know, like, just why does it not come out of you to work hard? Like, why am I telling you to like, hey, don't be late? You know what I mean? Like,
I see.
yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And also like, I actually like getting my hands dirty because then,
It's a different skill set for sure.
yeah. And like, because, okay, let's say, perfect example is the day after Thanksgiving, right?
That's I
All the
imagine that's a nightmare.
It's
Holy
a
shit.
nightmare. But once you're a manager, not really. You just have fucking a clipboard. You just have a clipboard and you're fucking walking around and, you know, saying hi to people. Meanwhile, the same people that I used to work with that taught me some of this shit,
Yeah.
they're out there fucking dealing with the line that goes out the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was just kind of like the culture. So
Wow.
I don't know. And it was just like, oh, this is stupid. I'm going to go help them out. Oh, no, Carlos, I
Interesting.
don't think you want to do, you know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
really weird. Or like, oh, you shouldn't fraternize like with, you know, since you're a manager now.
Yeah.
You know, and shit like that.
That's
You never
weird.
know. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, dude, I mean, and then from there,
So yeah, I've been doing tech since then, or what?
yeah.
Wow.
Ever since then. You know why? Because it actually came easy to me.
Yeah.
It was pretty like,
But it was still like that wasn't your passion. Music was still your passion, right?
yeah, like that, and
Interesting.
it's always been like that. Where, and this is why, like, I think I asked you, like, what would you eventually want to do? Because maybe we're in the same boat where this is kind of like easy for us,
Yeah.
and so it pays really well,
Yeah.
you know. But what you're doing, like, let's say like you didn't know any shit about networking, what would you want to do?
I'd probably be like a chef.
A chef.
Yeah, I considered going to culinary school after high school. So like my three options were culinary school because I love cooking. I don't know if it made stuff for you, but like yeah,
You
I love
made me
cooking.
fucking some amazing flan.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun. That's the only thing I know how to make really well.
Hey, dude, but because I think the last one that you gave me was it blueberries?
It was probably blueberry. Yeah.
Yeah, out of control. I've never had a flan like that, and I've had flan like growing up. You
Yeah.
know, it's in like in Mexican culture, it's always there.
Yeah, it's a
Filipino
thing.
cook,
Yeah,
like
it's
leche
Spanish.
flan, right?
It's a thing. Yeah.
And dude,
That's awesome.
Not even fucking ashamed of it. I ate the whole fucking thing of flan in one sitting.
No way.
Yeah, like
Because
a
I would do the
fucking-
same thing.
yeah.
Like I love flan. That's like that's my favorite dessert. It's the only thing I know how to make really well. Anyways, yeah, I considered going to culinary school. Considered joining the army because my dad was in the Navy, and then going to school for tech. So those like were my three things out of high school. So like if I wasn't doing tech, I'd probably be like a chef somewhere, like cooking.
So funny enough, after Best Buy,
Yeah.
you know, we'll say that we agreed to disagree. No, that's not the right saying.
You said fuck off.
No. So, I mean, I
Damn.
don't think it matters, but I don't think I'm gonna be employed by Best Buy anytime soon. But
Right.
there was a certain point where they were trying to get rid of me in
Yeah.
any way
Wow.
possible.
Okay.
Over, what would he say? So, okay. So what ended up happening is while I was there, I started a band, right? And it became like, at least within like locally, we were pretty big, you know, and I was playing shows. We were getting paid for it. getting treated like rock stars. Like there's this place called Sumo's that was in the Long Beach Town Center back in the day. And we would just pack that place. So they even made like a little green room for us.
Nice.
We'd get free drinks, free sushi beforehand. And, you know, when I had to go back to work, everybody's like, oh, my God, did you go to fucking, you know, Silos' show?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And I used to live across the street from there. So after the show,
you'd bring
party
people.
at my pad.
Yes.
Right? So it was like this little microcosm rock star.
Do you have groupies?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a thing. That's a real fucking
Fuck
thing.
Yeah.
Groupies. Stalkers.
I remember I was friends with a band in high school, like my senior year, and I was basically like a roadie. I would go hang out with them, would set up their stuff, go to rehearsals, and like basically we'd play like not we, but they would play like concerts and veterans halls and all that stuff, and I would just tag along and help them out. And yeah, groupies is a thing. It's fucking amazing.
It's a fucking thing. And dude, like, I mean, there was times at parties where like, you know, I'd bag multiple chicks on the same night.
Nice.
You know, and this is like me at 22. So
sick.
It's like living the dream, you know? And so I think that kind of stuff, because like when I would go back to work, now they call them haters, right? But back, I think it just rubbed people the wrong way.
Okay.
You know, because like a lot of these people like didn't know that I sleep with were also employees.
Oh.
You know? And so they'd be like, oh, can you believe it? Like, da-da-da, just taking advantage of like da-da-da and all this. So so I just started noticing like the managers just kind of like looking at my time sheet, like weird stuff like that. And what ended up happening, I started getting written up. By the way, I'm going to be late to my own funeral because that is one thing I can't do.
What?
Like this watch, it actually doesn't even work because I just
Bro,
do it
I'm
for
Filipino.
looks.
I'm always late. Like I was late to your thing today. Come on now.
I just
Come
refuse
on.
to. That's why like my job is so amazing because they're just like, yeah, just come in, like, you know, and we're like, oh, you know, you just kind of stroll in at whatever time.
I'm doing better though. I'm doing better.
I try now. I try being better at being punctual because I know that's such a big deal to people.
It is.
And flaking because I am flake number one, bro. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, big time. And it bothers a lot of people. It doesn't bother the people I know, but especially if it's brand new like relationship that I'm like starting with.
They're like,
somebody.
they don't know you yet.
Yeah, exactly. Then I definitely like try hard to do that. But usually I'm just like, like,
dude, it's life. That's
Exactly.
the thing. Like shit happens. Like
it's
who
like,
cares?
oh, like, you know, come to my birthday. I'm like, okay, what birthday is it? Oh, it's your like 34th. Okay. And it's like, oh, but Brian Guevara says, hey, dude, let's fucking go to Vegas and see Nine Inch Nails. I'm going to go to Vegas and see Nine Inch Nails any day. And not even feel ashamed about it. Like, hey, I sorry I can't make it to your birthday. I'm going to Vegas to see Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I won't miss your 31st. I'll miss your 34th, but your 35th, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
40th, maybe that's special. Yeah,
exactly. You know, the big ones.
No, I hear you. I'm the same way. Like, I'm always late to fucking everything, and I hate myself for it. But, like, you know, I'm doing better, you know? But, like, life happens. Like, I mean, like, 30 minutes compared to, like, life, like, that's minuscule. You know what I mean? Like, now we're here talking. Like, all right, I was 30 minutes late.
I know, but, I mean, do you think that's a thing? Because you're just like, hey, man, like, I had to stop by and get some stuff. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm just chilling.
No, I've definitely been better and more understanding about that stuff because, like, you know, one, we're in LA, right? Like essentially in LA. And traffic is stupid. So like a 30-minute commute can be 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? I've gotten used to that growing up in LA. So like, all right, no big deal. Whatever.
Dude, I was in Houston not too long ago, and they were just like, oh, this is like a bad traffic.
Yeah.
I fucking literally laughed out loud.
Why
I'm like, this is bad
like
traffic.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are moving. What are you talking about?
Yeah. In LA, it stopped.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Dude, from Santa Monica to Long Beach.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, easy, like an hour,
2 hours.
45 minutes, 2 hours.
It's crazy.
And it's just going 22 miles or something.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so saying like, you know, since I'm late to everything, they knew my weakness. They knew my kryptonite. And so they started writing me up for being like, if I had to be in at 9, hey, Carlos, you clocked in at 9:03.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah. And then eventually, so it's like they work like on a strike system, you know, where like, you know, 3 strikes, you're out.
Sure.
So on the second strike, they're like, look, listen, do you want to be fired from here? Because that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or do you want to just go on your own?
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Set F off?
I was like, you know what?
I'm good.
No. I was like, you know what? Yeah, wait till you can fire me.
Whoa, no way.
I'm like, I see what you guys are doing. We both can play that game.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just show up way early. Try to find a new way to fire me, asshole. Yeah, dude. And
no way.
and I lasted total about like 2 more weeks, and I was late again. I was like, yeah, they knew.
Oh, that's funny.
But
that's pretty funny.
But yeah, man. So
wow.
Retail, man.
Yeah, that's hard, man. Retail's hard. I used to work at it's not retail, but I used to work at a Subway. Like one of my first jobs was working at a Subway, and that shit's hard, man. Like dealing with customers.
You're a sandwich artist.
Yeah, I was a sandwich artist. I had my blue polo shirt, sandwich artist on the sleeve. Like it was great for the first 2 weeks.
Free sandwich. I'm just thinking about free sandwiches you could be having.
Dude, I lived off the tuna melts and the cookies. Like that's my thing.
The cookies are fucking good.
The cookies are good. Like throw them in the microwave before they had microwaves. Like heat them up. Like they're the best. You know, before you could toast your sandwiches. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was like one of my first jobs.
So
that's hard. That was hard. Fuck, that was hard.
You know what? Somebody, I was just having the conversation with somebody. I'm like, oh, you know what? I kind of want to do jobs that like I never got to do, and like now that I'm older and like you know have like an actual job, like I don't.
You don't want to?
No. Like no, I'm saying like it's not that big of a deal. So it's like I'm like, oh, like it'd be kind of cool to work at Subway and just be like. You know, because for a lot of people, those are like kind of their starter jobs. But for me, I'm just like, it's not even thinking like, what's up? What can I get you, dude? You know, because you have a lot more fun that way. Like
you
Jamba
do,
Juice,
because like, now that you're confident, right?
Yeah.
Like you know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely do it again. Like do something like that, just because like now I know. Like last night, perfect example. So last night, I volunteered at this mansion for this event, and my first task was to walk around with an appetizer dish. Basically selling these appetizers to people, right? And like I had so much anxiety, bro. Like, holy fuck! Like, you mean I have to talk to people? You know what I mean? Like, so anyways, I'm like, all right, I can do this. So like, there's probably like, I think there's about 250, 300 people at this event.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around just trying to like talk to people like, oh, hey, here's like a octopus ceviche. Do you want to try it? Or here's like a baby tamale with like basically selling them on these appetizers. And I'm just like, oh, hey, I can do this. You know, like I'm not that awkward 18-year-old anymore, you know, that doesn't know how to talk to people. So yeah, I would definitely do something like that again. Yeah, that's so funny, man.
So after Best Buy, trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So you eventually got fired, I assume? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Most definitely. But I went out with the bang, which is fucking great, you know. And everybody was just like, "This is so fucked up. I can't believe I feel like they were deep. Like the rest of the employees were like deeply hurt. The fact that I was gone from there, like that's fucked up.
Were you like the fun one at the crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, I got a job at a restaurant.
Damn, that must have been hard. Holy shit.
So it was funny because I kept applying at different places, at different restaurants, just because my dad had always told me, like, hey, if you're ever in a bind, go work at a restaurant. Why? Because you get free food.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty flexible. And you make tips, so you just have cash. So it was so hard to get into a restaurant because every place is like, you know, do you have experience? I'm like, no, I never worked at a restaurant. They're like, yeah, I'm kind of looking. I'm like, what? Like, you can just fucking teach anybody to do this. Like, it's not space travel, you know? So, had no luck. So I ended up making a fake resume.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just kind of like looked up restaurants that have closed already. And so like, yeah, I worked at that place for like 2 years. I worked at this place. And they're all
no
closed.
way.
Yeah. But they're like, oh man, you have so much experience. I'm like, I know. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So it was like this restaurant in Cerritos owned by a Filipino lady. She was funny. Kitchen Nightmare show for sure.
No way.
Yeah, it should have been. But you know, they train you. You know, and the restaurant was like brand new. It was gonna open.
Yeah.
So like they trained me for everything.
So they weren't even open yet.
They weren't even open. It was like a brand new restaurant that was gonna open. So I got the full training, and it was kind of like upscale restaurant.
Okay.
So I got trained in wine and like the whole the way you're
upscale
supposed
Filipino.
to hold this.
That doesn't like bind to me. That doesn't.
So she,
make sense
I
to
think,
me.
I mean, they had a lot of money, and they had a house in Vegas. And what's God, it's something cafe in Vegas that looks like a cheesecake factory. The Luxor Cafe.
Okay.
It's basically a cheesecake factory. That's what it looks like. And so she kind of modeled off of that. So, I mean, there was this like gold leaf everywhere. It was just like super fancy.
All right.
And it was in Cerritos. People in Cerritos have money. And
Yeah, Cerritos has a lot of Filipino restaurants.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly.
that's where.
That and West Covina and Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's funny.
It's so funny how everybody has like their little.
Yeah.
How come there's no little Mexico? That's weird.
Have you ever been to a Filipino town in LA?
Yeah.
Have you been there? It's 2 blocks. It's so you drive through Alvarado, and 2 blocks later you're like, oh, that's it. Like what the fuck?
And the sign is so big. You exit that, it's like welcome to Filipino town.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
then
where?
2 blocks later you're like, what? That was it? It's ridiculous. Everybody has like Koreatown, Chinatown. You know, little Tokyo.
Yeah, the Chinese really
Filipino town, 2 blocks.
The Chinese have
no
really,
joke.
have it really unlocked because they're like everywhere and they're always pretty big.
That's yeah. Anyways,
but no, yeah. So started working there, and dude, I fell in love.
really,
I loved doing
in a
that
restaurant.
shit. Yes, I love being a waiter. It was just so cool, especially like in an upper scale because like I got to taste so much food, so much different food. You know, it's like I've always like kind of cooked and things like that, but that really got me into the whole like food and wine world.
Okay.
You know, back then, like what I thought was fancy beer was like a Newcastle or Guinness, you know? And the chef there, who I'm still friends with, Chef Hume.
No way.
He was like, dude, you want real beer? Go to Emilio's Beverage Warehouse.
Okay.
And get yourself a Chimay Blue.
Chimay, yes.
And
Belgian.
I was like,
That's
I'm like,
Belgian.
Oh, okay. I'm like, so how much is it?
Mm-hmm. It's like
he's
$20.
I mean, no, but yeah, back then, yeah, it was like 50, like 50
I mean,
bucks.
yeah. The Belgian beer is not cheap. Like Delirium and Chimay, not cheap.
I mean, and that was the whole road to that, right?
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
like, and I was like, $15 for a beer?
For 1 bottle.
Yeah. I'm like, that's crazy.
Right.
He's like, but it comes with a cork. I was like, oh, well.
Fancy.
Fancy. And I went to it and I got it. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, he wasn't lying. This is
It's
like
so
$15.
good.
And I had that, dude.
Chimay is like,
And I was like, what the fuck have I been drinking
Chimay is red
this whole
is pretty
time?
good too.
Yeah. The Chimay red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, dude. So what else? You obviously know your shit. What else do you got?
Yeah.
And that's when you got me to the Delirium. The
Delirium
Duvel, and all
is
that
my
stuff.
favorite beer. Like
And
and
that's what led me now to that whole
so
thing of
good.
beer. And so I was like so the hipster because like while everybody's like fucking thinking that Stellas are fucking dope. I'm just like, yeah, I brought my own Chimay. You know, it's like it has a cork on it.
yeah, you have to have that special glass too.
I was like, you guys.
What
don't
is it
even
called?
have
That
glasses.
special glass to drink
It's a
Chimay
tulip
out of.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It makes a difference.
it does.
Just the way
It
like
does, 'cause
different
the way
wine
it
glasses
breathes
make a
and-
difference. Yeah.
And then eventually from that, I worked a couple line cook jobs.
Line cook.
Yeah, because I
shit.
ended up being a server. I did some bartending. Bartended at Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch. Which one in Sunset?
No, the one in Universal.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But dude, that was so fucking good money.
Yeah, I
Dude,
bet.
$600 a night.
No way.
Yeah,
A night.
a night. $600.
Holy
Making Tokyo teas, Long Island iced teas.
That's a pretty popular spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
that one and the one in West Hollywood.
and also like, you know, obviously you're a bartender at Saddle Ranch, like all the girls.
all the chicks. Yeah.
Every single one of them. They're like, oh my God.
Can you tell me some stories?
Yeah.
No.
Bro, like my 20s are wild. You know, that's why like now.
My
I'm just-
20s was working. Wow. All right, I gotta take a leak.
yeah,
break.
dude. Yeah. I've done work from, like you said, like retail, restaurants, unloading trucks in the summer. You know which one? One was interesting is one of my summer jobs that I did in high school was for this company called ARC. I forget what it stands for.
Okay.
Right. But what they do is they actually work with like disabled people with like Down syndrome, things like that,
Okay.
and employ them.
Nice. Kind of
And
like
so-
the what is that one company, that restaurant in downtown LA? Like they hire like ex-convicts.
Clifton's? Oh, I don't know. Oh,
I'm fucking failing to remember, but yeah, they're a
something
restaurant.
like Bad Boys or something.
Something like that.
Something,
Yeah, yeah.
something like
Something downtown.
Little Homies Bakery or something.
Homies, yeah, homeboy,
Yeah, something
homeboy.
like that, Homeboy,
Yeah. yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
And no. So this place, you know, I don't even know what the political correct term is because what is it? Like people that are retarded and stuff.
I don't even know what
I forget. But anyway, so it's like a lot of people like, you know, with
autistic or something.
No, it's not autistic. But anyway, but what they do is that, so like the McDonald's toys, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to put it in the bag, right? And
Okay.
so it's basically a lot of those people. They work like in an assembly line, and they put like their, you know, because it's pretty, you know, simple work, but they still get a paycheck out of it.
Okay.
And like the supervisors or the people, like there's a person that handles the machine to seal it, right? So that's like a promotion. Like if you get to work that stuff, so
okay.
then like it was just one of the coolest, most interesting things that I've ever done, because it's like then you have people that work in there like me doing like the warehouse work, you know, like doing the forklift stuff or this and all that. But you know what's really cool is like in the break room, all of us are there together, and everybody's fucking having a blast, and nobody's like segregated. Everybody's like,
that's so cool.
you know, kicking it, and it's just like, man, that's, I don't know. It just did, especially like being in high school, it gave me a different perspective about life, especially because like teenagers can be so mean, right? And so then it just fucking clicked. I'm like, dude, that's so fucked up, because I see people fucking teasing some of these students all the time. So then I became friends with all of them. I'm just like, no, dude, they're
so
fucking
good.
cool, man. They're fucking cool. And actually, at that time, I thought I was going to go into some field like that where I'd help out people that are disabled or like mentally disabled and stuff.
Wow.
I remember, oh man, one of the hardest things is I volunteered within high school because one of my best friends in high school, his mom was the one that she was their teacher for I forget what it's called in high school. It has a name.
Okay.
Like not ESL is like for language stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway,
It's a second language.
but like for, you know, disabled kids, and like we took them to Disneyland. That shit was so fucking fun.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like it just meant so much to them, you know?
Right.
And like, so I had to be like, you know, kind of like a caretaker and like be a buddy, and like, so I have like
a big brother, and
like
stuff like
find
that.
my kids and like help them get in their shit, and like it was just so fucking cool, man. But it just definitely gave me like,
It gives you a different perspective, right?
yeah, different perspective on
And
like
that's
life
kind of
and-
like why I like working with this just charity, is because like, you know, I get to work with kids even though I don't like really want kids. Like it gives me a different perspective. Like, hey, these kids like really need help. You know, like, yeah, I mean, it makes you appreciate like what you have and like so many other things.
How old are you now?
I just turned 38.
You just turned 38.
Yeah.
Do you get the when are you having kids question?
Oh, I used to get that when I was a kid, man. Like kid meaning like I was 18, right?
I mean, that's growing up Catholic, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like when I first started working professionally, like all my coworkers were like older, like significantly older, right? And I told them like my first job at the bank, they're like, "Oh, Brian, when are you gonna have kids?" And I was like 18 at the time. I'm like, "Oh, I'll think about it when I'm 30. When I'm 30.
Yeah.
When I'm 30. When I hit 30, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm like, I'll think about it when I'm 40.
Yeah.
I got 2 years to go. So,
So I don't know, man. Like I
I just want to be that uncle that like comes by, hangs out with your kid, spoils him, and like bounces. Like I'm good.
Porsche. Take me in the Porsche.
good.
You're like that cool.
Like I have a lot of good friends that have kids now, and like I don't mind playing with them and stuff like that. Like my brother has a daughter. She just turned 10. And yeah, I don't mind like hanging out and spoiling him. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's cool.
I don't know, man. Like for me, when I was younger, like in my teens, I definitely thought like 25, I'd be married, have kids,
Yeah?
have a house. Yeah, I definitely because that's kind of like, you know, what you're supposed
It's
to do or whatnot.
tradition.
Yeah.
Or like that's the norm, right?
Yeah, but I think later as I got into my 20s and my life got a little bit wilder.
I mean, you're a rock star at this
Yeah,
point,
so
right?
it's like it was just like I'm like, why would I? Like that's so
Right.
crazy. It's just gonna slow
Like
me
you
down.
enjoy your life.
Yeah,
And that's how I feel right now. Like, I enjoy my life.
then,
Like, I genuinely enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, dude. And then also, like, when I started traveling too.
Yeah.
You know, funny story about that. I mean, maybe say like 10 years ago, I had traveled to Mexico, obviously, but Vegas.
I don't consider Vegas
Colorado.
traveling.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Colorado, maybe. That's further out.
You know, just a few places here and there, never internationally other than Mexico.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, Risa, she's from Japan, but she was studying here and in Cal State Long Beach, and we became like really good friends. Her life was crazy. She's like, I'm like, how many places have you been? She's been to fucking like so many fucking countries.
That's awesome.
And I was like, how do you do it? And she's like, well, when you want to, like, you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And
she's right.
And I was
make
like,
it a priority.
but it's so expensive, stuff like that. She's like, you just paid $200 for our bar tab. Yeah. You know, like
that's a plane ticket.
So she's like, just don't do that and save money and then go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. So it's like, it's on me, the fact that I haven't done that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, like, they can totally do it. They just like don't prioritize it, right? Same way that I was doing. And then one of my friends, Kristen, who actually opened up a bakery. She has an awesome bakery called Colossus. There's one in Long Beach and San Pedro. If you want pastries and shit.
In San Diego?
Dude, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it because like she's very successful and stuff. But she was going to France.
She was going to France.
Yeah, she was going to France. You know, she was like, a college student, and she was just like, just traveling. You know,
so, as you would.
Yeah, and so she was just like, oh my god, like, like you should come and stuff like that. Like, it'll be so much fun. And then my best friend at the time, she also travels a lot, and she was like, dude, let's plan a trip. And I was like, let's go to France, right? And she was like, yeah, because like the last time that she had been in France with her mom, and like, they had to do they do the tour bus thing, and like at 9 a.m. got to be at the lobby and do
stuff,
this and all that, and then and she knew, like, with me, it's like, I'm trying to be cool guy.
Yeah,
and
just go with the flow or whatever.
I just want to go, man. Just like live like locals,
Yeah.
Fuck the Eiffel Tower, And so that's why she wanted to go. It's like, yeah, cool. Let's do like off the beat path, And so finally save up my money, and dude, for round trip with the hotel, it was like $1,300.
It's not that much.
And
to
I
travel.
was like,
I mean, now it is, but like, yeah.
I was like, I cannot believe that it was $1,300 just to do that,
Yeah, to have like this experience of a lifetime. You know?
And so finally got there, my first international trip, and the flights, I forget, it's like 10 hours or I don't know.
Yeah.
And he got there, and I had taken French, like I was mentioning earlier, and it was just so cool to like get into the cab. And then
actually use it?
And actually use it.
No way.
It all fucking broken as fuck. But my French is a mixture of Spanish and French. Because like a lot of our words are similar.
Yeah, because it's Latin based.
So like, donde is that? It's like, what? But they understand it.
That's hilarious.
And it was just so cool going someplace and just seeing something different.
Yeah.
Different culture, different language. Their stores look different. Like, and then again, I was being cool guy. Like, she's like, do you want to go see the Eiffel Tower? I was like, not really.
Yeah.
Like, one of my buddies actually lives there. Let's go to his bar. So, we go to his bar, and she's like, hey, are you sure you don't want to see it? Because like the Eiffel Tower is like pretty close to here.
Yeah. You might as well.
Fine.
Yeah.
I think I almost cried.
You cried?
I almost. Or I definitely my eyes were jiggly.
At the Eiffel Tower?
Because, so like you get off the subway, right? And then when you get off that subway exit where the Eiffel Tower is at, you're like, okay, so where the fuck is this saying? And then at the exit, you make a left, and then there it is.
There it is, yeah.
Fucking glory.
Wait, did you go during the day or night?
During the day.
Okay. So it wasn't lit up yet
No.
for night.
And I was just like, what in the fucking world? Because I'd been to New York and saw the Statue of Liberty. I was like,
yeah.
Kind of little, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. It's 300 feet. It's like 350 feet or something.
It's
yeah,
little.
it's not, yeah.
But this thing is so fucking massive.
Yep.
It is fucking massive. And I was just like, this has been in history books, in every single one of my history book. I think I'm tearing up now. Postcards. And I was just like,
yeah, now you actually see it, you feel it,
like,
you touch it, you can, yeah.
This is what my friend Risa was talking about traveling. You know, that
to experience this firsthand.
So I was like, $1,300, totally worth just for that fucking moment.
Yeah.
And dude, it was so fucking cool because after that, you know, we stayed in Paris just for a little bit. And then we took a train to go to the south of France, right?
Okay.
Because what we were trying to do is actually a really cool story. So the whole reason why my friend wanted to go to France is because she saw this one picture online.
Okay.
Of this place called Ez, right?
EZZ or ESS?
EZE.
Okay.
And it was just like these like umbrellas overlooking like water, right?
It was like a beach town or something, or what?
Yeah, and so she's like, "Oh, we can go to Saint-Tropez, you know, super famous like for rappers. They love going there. We can go to Cannes. We can, you know,
the film festival city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we took a train, and on the train, like she's also very chatty. We're in front of these people, and I forgot how the conversation started, but they're like, "Oh, you know, where are you going?" Like, "Oh, we're trying to find like this place and stuff like that." It's like, "Oh, okay, well." If you go, you know, if you have time, where this train is gonna stop at, you should go to this place called Cassis. Like that's where, that's where all the Europeans or French people they go on a holiday.
Okay.
So if you have some time, go there. So we're just like, we don't have nothing lined up. We don't even have a hotel anywhere.
Oh shit.
So we're just like,
that would make me so anxious, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me, I'm the planner type. I want to have some sort of plan before I go do something. Like on this motorcycle trip, like I had like a framework, right? I had a general idea of where I needed to be, where I need to go, but like not having a plan makes me so anxious, dude.
It made her very anxious. Because she's also that way. I'm just like, we can sleep on the streets.
Yeah,
not that crazy.
I've slept on the streets. Not fun.
It's not, but it's a thing.
No, it's not fun.
And so anyway, so then so we're like, you know what? Fuck it. From here, we'll just go to Cassis. We'll get out of here. We'll rent a car, and then because from where the train stop was at, we'll go to Cassis and stay there a couple days. So we went there, and exactly your fucking nightmare. We go to fucking place. Sorry, we're booked.
Sold out.
Right?
See?
Because that's exactly what she said. Is like that's where they all go vacation. Happen. So it's fucking packed. And man, I don't know.
I would go berserk. Like I'm like, fuck.
I don't know if it's karma points or whatever, but like there was one place that we're just like, this is like the 8th place that we've been to, and there's nothing. It's like, let me see what I can do. And that person made fucking calls.
Which person are you?
The person at a hotel that we tried to check.
They're like a receptionist or whatever.
Yeah.
The check-in. Yeah.
And so they were like, hey, like we don't have room. But I think I found your place, but you need to go like now.
Whoa, that's like, fucking really? Amazing.
Yeah. And we went there and the room was cool and it was fucking cheap. It was like $60 a night.
Okay. Was it like a hostel or something?
No.
It was a full-blown hotel. Okay.
Hotel. A small hotel, but yeah, but it's basically a coast town. They have a thing called like...
Must have been better in the hotels we stayed at.
Yeah. They have the things called like calanques, which are kind of like...
Well... Yeah, sorry.
Like mountain, I don't know, like within the ocean. But dude, it was just like a seaside town. Amazing fucking seafood. And the coolest part, because remember, this is my first time traveling. We're eating at the seafood place, and there's like this gorgeous woman. She's a little bit older, right? Probably like in like her mid-40s or so. But she's just kind of running like they're in a party of 10, right? And they're being like as fucking French as you can be. I'm pretty sure one of them was wearing a beret. And then the food comes out.
Did they have a baguette with them too?
Yeah, exactly. Like in their fucking back.
In their bag?
It's like a baguette, a croissant, and a fucking...
that's awesome.
What are their hats? Anyway, and then like, so this beautiful girl that's like obviously like the socialite of that whole table.
Yeah.
Her food comes out and she was just like, ooh la la. And I was like... Did I just witness a French person say ooh la la? It just fucking made my fucking trip. So we stayed there for a couple days. We got a car. And then we drove down the coast of France. We went to like Saint-Tropez, which is like whatever. Unless like you're
Saint-Tropez?
Rich. Yeah, so it's like where all the rappers go. They're taking a lot of songs.
Okay.
Unless you have money to be on a yacht, which is like $1,000 a night. 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 $1,000 a night over there.
Yeah. Don't bother or what?
You're just not gonna live.
Is it
like that.
Is it like Monte Carlo or something or what?
No. It's just like it's a normal ass beach.
Okay.
Really. It was very underwhelming, but
interesting.
But the drive there is cool because it's like, imagine driving through Northern California or Portland with all this forest and wood.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I did on my motorcycle trip. It was
going
amazing.
down these winding roads,
Yeah.
and then you finally get to the beach town. So I think that's why people like it, because you kind of have to drive an hour to get to it. We went to what's that place? Nice, which is another.
Is it Nice or Nietzsche?
Nice. Nietzsche is the fucking, not the author, but like
I thought that's how you pronounce that city though.
Nice.
No.
Nice?
Anyways,
No,
I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
Who cares?
And it was like whatever. It was definitely more city, but I was like,
yeah.
And so we're like, let's just keep driving until we find a cool beach town, because that was the biggest thing. Is like we want to find like a.
So
cool beach
you
town.
rented a car while you were out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so we keep going, and it feels now we've been driving forever. And then we see "Welcome to Monte Carlo."
That's where the money is.
And that's where, but eventually, like you go so south, and eventually it loops down, and then like you have Monte Carlo.
That's where they have the F1 races. Yeah,
dude.
Like everybody there has money and shit.
Again,
right?
we don't have a hotel, so we fucking pull in there, and I'm driving my little European little tiny car.
Yeah. Everybody,
Lambos,
yachts
Ferraris,
and shit, like
everything. And dude, first place we hit up, we're like, hey, do you guys have rooms? Like, yeah, we do. We
No
got a hotel
way.
super quick. And yeah.
You stayed in Monte Carlo?
Yeah, we stayed there for a couple days.
Did you go to any of the casinos and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely. That's James Bond shit, right?
Yeah, that's why I got to ask.
So first day, it was like, we've been wanting to beach. So we went to the beach. Titties out everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, dicks out everywhere. And people don't care. People don't give a fuck. Right?
Yeah. That's so European, because like here in California or US, like everybody's super
Call the
conservative.
police,
Yeah. Except that nude beach in San Diego, right?
Dude, I'm down. Fuck it. Let's go.
I would probably go. Shit, I'm splitting myself. Yeah, I'd probably go just to hang out, but it is a little tricky to get to.
A little bit. Just don't get a hard on. That's weird.
Whoa.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. Like we got to see the palace. We got, it's a super small town.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm telling you, when we went out to dinner, like I said, every car was just, I mean, if you just have a normal ass Lambo, like you're just normal.
Really?
Like, why do you have that? Like a Mercedes, whatever.
Yeah.
There's really, really exotic cars. The kind of shit where it's just like, oh, there's one of 200, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Eastern European girls, like crazy, like these
Bulgarian
Russian girls and like
oh
Czech
my God.
girls. Like and it's all these like Italian or Russian fucking billionaires, like with like a super hot 25 Russian girl in their hand, on their arm. But yeah, so we went to the casino, right?
Tell me.
This is it, the Monte Carlo casino.
Yeah, tell me.
Dude, like we didn't gamble.
Okay.
Oh,
how do you show up to
because of
casino
stake. Because of stakes, dude. Like in order to the buy-in, buy-in in all those places,
it's like $10,000 or something.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah. The high roller table, the VIP one, minimum is $1 million.
Oh,
or
damn.
euros or whatever. So it's like we literally were there. I was just like, gin martini with a twist, please. I was like, dude, I can't believe I'm having a martini in a Monte Carlo casino.
No
like fucking James
way.
Bond. And that's all we were doing, just like sipping martinis and just walking around.
Just people watching, basically.
Yeah, just people watching. It was just so fucking dope. I mean, just
no way.
Rich, hot people.
And we're not talking like regular rich. Like this is like mega rich stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, where they're all walking into that $1 million room, But funny enough, there's these two English dudes, and they're like, I'm gonna assume that you guys don't belong here either, right? And we're like, yeah, that's
you recognize
crazy,
him,
right? And he's like, yeah, this is fucking wild, man.
Wait, what time of the year did you go?
Like in July, August.
Okay.
Yeah, like August, I think.
Okay.
And so
like peak summer, basically. Okay.
Yeah. And so after that, we kind of hung out with them for a little bit, and then they were like, "Do you guys want to get out of here?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I got enough experience. I'm not going to gamble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And their English is like, we found an Irish pub.
Nice.
And now we've been in France now for like a week.
Yeah.
And I mean, my French is just like, like I'm just exhausted at this point. And it was so fucking cool to go, after all that time, just to go into, and I'm sure like you've experienced this maybe with esports, traveling with esports, where there's something about just like finally getting somewhere and somebody's like, hey, how can I help you guys? I'm just like, oh my God.
English? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've like when I was in China, I was there for like 3 weeks.
That's hard.
And amazing food. It was great. But when I saw McDonald's, I was like, yes, double cheeseburger meal. Oh.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, man, to end this whole thing about this trip.
Yeah.
So we see Monte Carlo and hang out.
I want to go just for like the
the
race or something.
You know what we should do? Let's go to the race.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Grand Prix. I am so in. I am so fucking
Long Beach
in for
Grand
that.
Prix is next week, by the way.
What?
Yeah, the Acura Long Beach Grand Prix.
Because it used to be in April.
Yeah, they moved it. So because of COVID, right?
I haven't
So
heard
it's next
anything.
weekend, the 24th to the 26th, I think.
I haven't heard anything from it.
Yeah, it's kind of on like under the radar just because of COVID.
Oh,
but
let's
yeah,
go.
it's happening next week.
Yeah, because usually I see the city like being like, yeah, are you going?
I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to get a bunch of people from work to like go
Yeah.
to hang out because like I started like a Gearheads channel at work on Slack, and where we like get together and drive and talk about cars and shit like that. But yeah, I'm thinking about going.
Well,
sure.
I mean, it's here, so like we can always, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's in your backyard.
Yeah, I'll totally be here.
It's fun. I went 2 years ago, and yeah, I had a blast. Like I love racing. I love cars, and like just checking out stuff like that. It's just
I was so
drink
glad.
and
I was so glad when Coachella went from having 2 weeks because it would always land on Grand Prix weekend. And
so you have to choose.
Yeah.
Oh.
And dude, Grand Prix Long Beach is
It's so much fun.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit. I fucking love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been, I mean.
I didn't know that. What? You should have told me. I would have
Yeah.
hit you up.
Yeah. Dude, I've been to at least 10 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? You've been
Yeah.
to more than me.
Yeah. And like,
Fuck.
let me know because I can hit up some people up to possibly get us free tickets. For the
Really?
weekend. Yeah. Because a lot of the dealerships, they just have them and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah. No, it's next
Yeah.
weekend. I want to go, but since I'm like the lead
Fuck, I'm in
on like
Texas
a project.
this weekend.
Really?
That's lame.
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
the 24th to the 26th. That's funny.
So
That's funny.
But yeah, no, but let's book Monaco though. I'm so down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, man.
So anyway, so end this awesome trip, right?
Yeah.
So finally leave Monaco, and we're leaving because we have to go back to Paris, you know, because that's where our flight leaves. And I'm not sure if it was like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom or something like that, but before we left, like, you know, we left Monaco and now we're in France. We're like, oh look, there's like a little spot. Like, why don't we just get something to eat?
Yeah.
Here, right? And it's like this little medieval town.
Medieval. What do you mean?
Medieval, like castle-y looking and stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because that part used to belong to, I think, like the UK or something, England, or I don't know, whatever. And so we go to this little medieval town, and there's a bunch of little shops and all this and all that. Like I said, like it's all cobblestone, and it's super small, narrow. I don't know how to really describe it, but we're like, you know what? Let's ask one of the shopkeepers there. Like, remember that picture that you had that you wanted to go? Maybe they can tell us where it's at because it's supposed to be in the south coast of France. And while we're here, you know, while we're in southern France, maybe he knows where it's at.
Yeah.
And so we show shopkeeper, and
So you just showed him the picture and like, hey, take me here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do you know where this is at? How do we get there, right? And you look at it, and he was like, oh, it's right there.
Was it like Notre Dame or something or what?
Something like that. He's like, no, just go up. I was like, wait, what? He's
no
like,
way.
He's like, no, just go up the stairs. Keep going. Like, what? And so he's like, yeah, there's a restaurant up there. It's there. I was like, what? So we go up there, and we're like, hi, is this place? Like, yeah.
Wait,
Like,
it's just like
what?
a hidden restaurant somewhere?
No, it's just a restaurant. It's just like in its little weird little small town.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we can eat here? It's like, can we sit there? It's like, yeah. It's a Michelin star restaurant.
No way.
Yeah. And dude, we got to sit exactly in where she wanted to in that picture. So we were able to recreate her picture.
No way.
She's bawling at this point. And plus we're having a Michelin star.
Yeah.
Meal. We ordered like Johnny Walker Blue. Like we were living it up. We were just like, I cannot believe she started bawling. Like literally my dream came true.
Yeah.
Off on a, hey, we should just
no
stop there.
fucking way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Like when shit like that happens, like you think about it and you think like, oh, that's never gonna happen. And it actually happens. You're like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Right. Like working at JPL, like as a kid, like, oh, I want to be in robotics. I didn't think anything of it. 20 years later, I'm working in robotics for a space company. I'm like, oh my fucking God. I started crying. Like I teared up like during orientation because like it actually happened. They're like, oh fuck. Like many people don't get to do that ever. You know, it's crazy. It makes you appreciate so much.
Exactly. And that's why like, yeah. So after that, you know, we were just like, this was the best trip ever.
That's awesome.
And that was my first international trip.
Wow.
And so after that, I was just like, where do we go next?
Yeah.
Where do we go next? And exactly like what my friend Risa said, it's like, it was just a matter of saving some money up.
Yeah.
Not spending it on some stupid shit. And dude, and
it doesn't cost a lot to travel. That's the thing.
It doesn't. And what you get out of
it's
it.
It's just the time thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause like we work traditional jobs, you know, I like Riot has a pretty good like vacation policy or whatever, but like, yeah, it's just a time thing, really.
Yeah.
You know?
And like what you
That's
get,
awesome.
What you get back from what you pay for in that is just
it's worth so much more.
It's worth so much more.
Yeah.
Worth so much more. Like
2 years ago I went to Peru.
That's right.
So I went to Machu Picchu, which has been on my list forever. And yeah, I signed up to go on this trip with this company called G Adventures. And instead of taking the traditional, like, I forget what it's called, the traditional Machu Picchu path or route or whatever, where we basically hike and camp and whatever to get to Machu Picchu. I took the Laris Trek, which is the back trails. We went through.
Don't they call it the Inca Trail?
The Inca Trail, yeah. So basically, we hiked and camped through the Andes Mountains.
That's how I know you're a crazy motherfucker, man.
Huh?
That's how you know you're a crazy
what
motherfucker.
What do you mean?
Why?
No, so like this is the best part about this trip is like this company arranged for everything. I just had to show up, right? So they basically had porters to take our stuff with us, and we just had to take a day pack. But basically, the way this company works is they take care of all the logistics. You can rent out the tents and the sleeping bags and all that stuff. And we would basically camp and hike for a few days through the Andes Mountains until we got to Machu Picchu. And we got to meet like the local people that lived in the mountains and shit. And like got to see like a local school. And we even hiked this mountain that was like 15,000 feet or something.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, I thought I was going to die because like that elevation thing is not a joke, right?
Did you go to Colombia with us?
I didn't go to Colombia, but I'm planning to go to Colombia at New Year's this year. I don't know if it's going to happen because of COVID, but like I want to go because I love South America. But like, yeah, like hiking and backpacking through the Andes with this crew was like amazing because like you got to like live locally, right? You got to meet all the locals, eat the local food. And the best part about this trip is like, not only did we have porters taking our stuff and setting up camp for us, they've had a full on like a kitchen crew, right? So I went for my birthday 2 years ago, and you know I told them it was my birthday and whatever. But basically every time we stopped for lunch or dinner, they would have camp set up and they would make lunch for us, right?
Wow,
which is fucking awesome, right? So like, yeah, I'd pay that extra money for them to do that. But the best part about this,
mind like how much was that?
I want to say it was like 1,500.
Shut up.
1,500 plus the plane trip. But
yeah. But I'm saying for that.
For everything, it was all inclusive.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about arranging flights, not flights, like hotels because we stayed in tents most of the days. But yeah, they take care of some like, well, let me go back. So I first flew into Lima, right, and stayed there for a few days, and I got to get acclimated.
How much ceviche did you eat?
I ate a lot, and I also took a cooking class to learn how to make ceviche, like proper ceviche and pisco sours.
Bro, once you had Peruvian ceviche.
Oh my god,
Mexican
it's so
ceviche,
good,
Mexican
especially with the corn kernels.
Mexican ceviche is pretty trash compared to there.
It's different. I wouldn't say it's trash,
you're
but
so
it's
nice.
different.
You're so nice.
No, it's different because the Mexican ceviche doesn't have like the corn kernels and like the
yeah, it's just it's minced fish.
It's very
and
different.
shrimp. Yeah, it's very different.
But
you
like,
know they invented ceviche, right?
Who did?
Peruvians.
Really?
That's where it's from, brother.
No way. Okay.
Yep. My best friend.
That explains a lot because it's like it's next level
Peruvian,
stuff.
So like I know more Peru.
Okay, so like
let me pee real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Guevara, you were talking to me. So you took so you took some I'm making ceviche. Did they was it only ceviche or did you make lomo saltado too?
We made so this was in Lima.
Yeah.
So we learned how to make lomo saltado, ceviche, and pisco sour. That was awesome. I got trashed because we started with the pisco sours first. I had a blast, dude. I fucking loved it.
So pisco is it's a grain alcohol, right?
It's like it's a grain alcohol. It's like their local wine version.
Oh, it's made out of grapes because it's made out of grapes.
Yes,
that's right.
So Peru and Chile have a thing where like who can make the best pisco sour.
Yeah.
And the first time I had pisco sour was when we did a trip to Chile, which is, I don't know if you've heard the stories from my trip there, but it's pretty notorious. What do you mean? Oh yeah. What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because Delara was there, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so the first time I had
That's
it was
I
in
knew
Chile.
I was gonna be good friends with you, man.
Well, Riot had to stop getting translators because of me, apparently. But anyways, that's another story. The first time I had pisco sour was in Chile, and that was fucking amazing. So I was like, oh, I got to try Peru, the Peruvian version.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's just as good. Like, I couldn't tell you which one's better because they're just as good. But I took cooking classes when I was there. And then we went to Cusco, which is like at the base of the mountain, the base of the Andes. Took a cooking class there. And then that's kind of where we started our hiking trip.
Oh, okay.
You know, we had to get acclimated with the altitude first, and then a couple days later, we started our hike.
Did you see the Nazca lines?
We didn't. No, that wasn't part of the trip, but I would have loved to do that.
What do you make of that?
What do I make of that? I'm a big UFO guy, and so like I'm pretty sure that was pretty difficult for people on Earth to do.
Yeah,
I think just because they're so massive, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think they're pretty fascinating.
It's just really, and it's just, I mean, because like
you can only see those from above.
It looks like a runway, right? Too.
Right. You can only see that from above. Like I find it very hard to believe that you can do that from the ground and get that accurate of like a design. You know what I mean? Like at that time, like
especially with how big it is,
right? Like the scale,
and
like the fact that you can only see it from like outer space, essentially, like. That is wild to me, right? Like growing up watching X-Files and fucking Unsolved Mysteries and all that bullshit, right? Like it makes you wonder, like it's very difficult to do that from somebody, I don't know.
Well, it's because you're a racist.
What?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Because that's racist.
How dare you?
To think that indigenous people couldn't do that. Yeah.
I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I'm saying it's very hard.
Guevara, they needed some white aliens to do that.
Whoa, Carlos. Come on.
But dude, so Machu Picchu, I've never been, even though my best friend's Peruvian. Yeah. I'm going to do it like as soon as possible because it's going to bother me if I die.
Yeah.
I don't go. Machu Picchu, is there's like, I hear from different people that like it has an energy to it.
There is. So Machu Picchu, I forget what it stands for, but basically it means like giant boobs, essentially.
Okay.
Right. That's what it translates to. Basically, there are these mountains, right? But yeah, when I got there after the hike, I was just blown away at how well it was built and how well it was hidden for a long time. But yeah, I mean, I got there and I was just like, I almost cried again because it was just like, oh my God, I'm here. This is something. I can't believe I'm here. This is something I've dreamed of like for 10 years. And now I'm actually here. I'm able to feel and hike and like feel this energy. And yeah, there is a different type of energy there. One, because you're so fucking high up.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, how did these people build this at this altitude? Because, like, I struggled hiking up to that elevation. Like, I thought I was in good shape leading up to that trip.
Yeah.
You know, I had, like, I was in really good shape. And
you race cars now, right?
Right. I race cars and go-karts.
Don't you have to be, like, in pretty good shape to do that
Pretty
stuff?
decent. Yeah. But, like, I was doing, like, group training, and I had, like, pretty good... I was in good shape. Like, I had, like, I think body fat percentage of, like, I don't know, 15, 12%. Pretty low. So I thought I was in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And my heart rate was pretty good. So I thought I was in pretty good shape before I went. And I get there, and there's this, like, 76-year-old fucking hiking this trail, no problem. And I'm, like, struggling, like... Wow, guys, just I'll meet you guys later. Like, I meet you at the camp. I'm like,
really?
Fuck. Dude, I struggled really bad. I got to a point where I basically had to ask the porters, like, hey, can you take my stuff? And I'll just hike the rest without my stuff, because I had, like, my cameras and my drone and stuff like that, and my, you know, my snacks and drinks, and I couldn't do it. I just straight up couldn't do it. So they brought one of the porters with the horse's back, got my stuff, and they kept going, and I kept hiking, and I eventually made it to the campsite. But, like, yeah, like that.
So could you imagine building that?
That's what I'm saying. Is like, one, the people there are super short, and like their bodies were built to live in that environment. I was not. I'm a fucking islander from the Philippines, right? Like, there's no way.
Well, remember we went to Mexico? And
yeah,
the
fucking pyramids. Yeah,
and you saw their stairs.
Right, they were
like
super steep.
Like they were super steep, and like each stair was like what, like
like 10 inches.
10 inches,
to,
right? Not
to
even
get
a
to the
foot.
next step. Yeah,
not like. So you have to have a certain body type really to kind of thrive in
right. And when we got to meet the locals there, like at the schools and stuff, they were super short, like 5 feet or less, right? And they were constantly chewing on like the coca leaves to give them energy. And that's what I tried to do. Is I tried to chew on those coca leaves like I recommended, because it certainly gave you that like boost of energy to stay.
So that's what I was asking you. You know, I've forgotten if you had gone to Colombia with us, because we were in where did we go in Colombia? Fuck.
Medellin or
no? We didn't go to
Cartagena or
what
is it? I'm trying to remember the name.
Fuck. Oh my God.
The big city.
Yeah, it's a big.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember that? Because we've been drinking.
Yeah, the most popular.
Because we've been drinking.
Yeah.
By the way.
If
you're single.
I am single. I'm gonna love Colombia. Is that what you're saying?
Colombia.
It's just
like,
if I can go.
It's like Brazil.
If I can go,
every girl is just more gorgeous than the next.
If I can go, I'll go. Yeah. I mean, I actually have the trip booked already, but not the flights. Just because of COVID. But yeah, I'm basically
fine because most
Colombia got put on the do not fly list now.
For why?
Because of COVID. So it was open a couple months ago, and just up until about 3-4 weeks ago, they're like, do not fly to Colombia.
Oh, but is it like
high risk?
It's like suggested.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, don't do it if you can. Blah blah blah, and but yeah, up until 3 months, like a few weeks ago, they're like, don't.
You're a single male. It might be worth.
I don't know if it's worth getting sick over. I mean, I'm vaccinated. Obviously.
I can guarantee you it is. I guarantee you it absolutely is, bro. If you die there, you're fine. You can say you lived a good life.
I'm gonna record that statement. Where's my phone? No, I have a trip with Gia Ventures for Colombia, so I'm gonna fly into what is that fucking major city that everybody flies into? Anyways, fly into that city and then go to Medellin, like the beach city, and then hang out there for about a week. So I'm planning to go there for for Christmas and New Year's Eve.
You know where you should go? Hold on, I'm trying to look up the city right now, because it's going to bother me.
Cartagena is the...
Bogota.
Bogota. There you go. That's the city I'm flying into.
Yeah.
Or supposed to fly into.
Yes.
That's where we started a trip.
It's fucking amazing.
No, but Medellin apparently is really good too.
Yeah.
Medellin.
There's this... Cali.
Cali, yeah.
Cali is a beach town. Over there. You definitely...
Cartagena is on the list. But yeah, I would fly into Bogota. And then we would take a bus all the way up to Cartagena, which is like the northern beach city. Yeah. And then I would fly back from there.
The reason I was saying that because so we went to like this mountain. Okay. It's like one of the sightseeing sites. And dude, I forgot the elevation. It's something pretty crazy. Yeah. And I do pretty good. Like I think Mammoth is what, like 15,000 or
No, it's not that high, is it? Mammoth? No,
Mammoth?
it can't be 15,000. 15,000 is no joke.
no.
Like there's a picture of me at 15,000 feet. I was struggling to get up there. It was, yeah, I was a mess. I was a
Oh
mess.
yeah, you're right. Mammoth is only it's
like
like almost
5,000.
8,000.
Yeah,
That's it.
15,000 is no
Big
joke.
Bear 6. Okay. Yeah, so then let me see. What with the elevation?
Yeah, the elevation in Peru is not a joke.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was, even like some of the guys, they weren't on our trip, but they were with us. They were in like really good shape, and
Yeah.
they were struggling on this hike. Like, damn, like what the hell?
Well, dude, like I mean, you go to Mammoth, like we go like camping off trail, and dude, just you setting up your tent is like,
It's exhausting.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, drinking is fun because you get drunk faster, but like,
which is terrible, which you shouldn't be doing. I think they say like wait a day at least till your body acclimates. But no, so we going down this, we go up this thing, and we see the hill, and it's like, okay, mind you, we take a trolley there, so that's
Yeah.
fine. But then the rest of it's all as at an incline.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm fucking Hispanic. I grew up in like this type of shit. Like, I
Right.
go to camping. all
That's
the
what I
time.
thought going into Peru. It fucks you up.
Walking up a couple stairs.
It makes you
get
humble.
winded.
It makes you humble.
And so, yeah, so they were like, oh, coca leaves,
Yep.
coca leaves.
This is Colombia you're talking about, right?
This is in Colombia, yeah. And so we're just like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're
we
like,
drink the
they're-
coca leaf tea and all that stuff.
And so they're
Yeah.
like, no. And apparently,
And it helps.
it opens up your lungs. Like,
It does so much. I mean, now I know why cocaine is, anyways.
well, I mean, that's different. I don't, if I
I mean,
ever-
you have to have a lot of coca leaves to make cocaine, but anyways.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
but it was just like,
It does make a difference.
it was like 90. As soon as I started chewing on them, like, oh, I was able to kind of
It's
do a little
so
bit
fucking
easier.
crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm still trying to book a trip for either Brazil or Costa Rica for
Weren't you and Says thinking about going to Brazil together or something?
we did. That's how we when we worked with
Non-work
Lauren.
related.
Huh?
Not work.
Oh, not work related? I mean, this was like a long time ago.
Did
but
you
yeah.
do ayahuasca while you were?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was leading up to. Is
okay.
I'm trying to book a trip to Brazil or Costa Rica to do an ayahuasca trip.
Is
So-
it because why aren't you doing Peru? Where that's where
I tried. So when I was in Peru, I asked our tour guide to see like, hey, is there a place I can go to try ayahuasca? They're like, yes, but you really have to be serious about it because it's like a whole like 3-4 day experience,
Yeah.
and it's not a joke. Like people show up and do the experience, and like they come out like basically like fucked up because it's not what they expected, right?
Yeah.
And
Some
I was
people
like,
think it's just
oh
like,
well,
it's just like doing edibles. Like, no, this is like pretty.
no,
intense.
it's pretty deep, right? And suffering from like depression for a lot of my life, like it's like like I am considering that,
Yeah.
right, to just open up my mind and just like see what else is there. And yeah, I mean there's a couple retreats in Costa Rica and Brazil that I have bookmarked, and but because of COVID, like it's almost impossible to do right now. But yeah, I'm still
Well,
open
if
for
you
it.
want to, so one of my again, my best friend who's Peruvian, she knows people over there. that
Really?
do it. Yeah. So I mean, I've been wanting to do it forever.
Huh.
So
Let's
dude,
go!
So if you want to do a trip, like I'm so
Like
down.
a literal trip,
Yeah.
I'm down.
And like what she says, and plus I've had other friends that have done that. And
I'm really big on that. There's a movie called
and the great thing is that you can't escape it. Like you literally have to like face
right.
all your shit. And you go through this like
Right.
journey, and there's like you throw up sometimes
Right.
and like this and all that, and it's like a couple day thing.
That's why the tour guide is like, hey, you have to be serious about this because it's not a joke. Like it's, it delves into like a lot of deep shit.
But every single person that I know that has done that
Yeah.
is like you.
It's life-changing
need
or
to
what?
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
like,
that's the thing. Like
they're like-
I'm trying to do this therapy thing, and I'm open for that as well. But yeah, I mean, if it's gonna help me understand myself better and like open up my
Yeah.
mind better, like I'm all for it. Like there's this really good movie called the Magic of the Power of Mushrooms or whatever it's called.
on Netflix.
No, I think it's on Amazon now.
Okay.
But it was on Apple TV. But basically, they talk about like mushrooms in general, benefits of mushrooms, and they talk about like psychedelic mushrooms and how like they have like the power to change your mind. And there's actually a really good book called like by a book called I forget what it's called. I think The Magic of Mushrooms. I could be wrong, but it's by a guy named Michael Pollan. He talks about like mushrooms in general and all this stuff. And like
you've done them?
I've done mushrooms. Yeah, I had a mixed experience.
How much did you take?
More than I should have.
Okay.
Let's just say I ended the night talking to trees and listening to trees.
No, you should be doing that. I hate this fucking microdosing bullshit. Like, stop being a pussy. Just fucking eat it.
So yeah, no, I ended the night like basically listening to trees talking to each other, and I was just
that's
like,
what's amazing about it.
I don't understand what's going on right now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I'm all up for like experiencing new things, and I think if I can't progress any further with this therapy, like I would seriously consider like the ayahuasca thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because this depression keeps coming and going, and like I don't know how to shake it off. And from what I've read about ayahuasca, it's just like this will really open up your mind and make you realize a lot of things.
So I have a question for you because like for me, like if I'm ever sound like, oh, listen to Elliott Smith, he said it's fun, like it's great, you know. So like I don't know, like when you say like I'm depressed, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to, you know.
No, we can talk about it.
I don't want to be a dick about it.
Yeah,
but like I mean, is it just like I feel sad or like what?
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So like after we had that dinner back in, was it 2017, 2019, whenever. I had a breakdown in like late 2017, and my depression came back with a vengeance. And that's when I started doing group therapy. But basically, for me, depression kind of locks you in this weird state where, like, you think about the past, right? And then, but you're also, I felt like I couldn't reach out to like you or Lauren or anybody that like I consider friends because I thought I was stuck in this hole. Like they wouldn't understand. You know what I mean? Like losing my dad at 6 years old, like that's really fucking heavy. Yeah. Like 6 years old, that's when your like brain receptors have just formed and you're starting to realize like, oh, I'm in this fucking world. Oh, I'm this individual, and this person I really looked up to is now gone. Right. So like that hit me hard as a kid. So like, yeah, that has like constantly come back. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So like not having like that father figure has really wreaked havoc on me. And like I'm now I'm paying the price.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I'm in therapy right now. I just like, I'm trying to understand that better. Yeah. And the way that translated to was like, my mom basically had to raise us by herself. I mean, she had boyfriends and my stepdad and all that stuff.
How many of you are there?
So I have an older sister and two younger brothers. Okay. But I was left alone a lot because my mom had to support us by herself and this, that. But basically I formed this weird relationship with my mom where I was constantly pleasing her. I was trying to constantly please her. Yeah. Right. Making sure like what I was doing was like okay with her and making sure she was okay. And that kind of that evolved into like my relationships with girls and my girlfriends, and it never ended well, right? And I had to understand that. Like my girlfriend, my relationships would last like I don't know 5-6 months to 2 years or whatever, but they would always end up in like this explosive fucking thing, like this big fight or whatever. And at the time, like fuck you, blah blah blah. Like it was really angry, right? Like. You know, I don't need you. Fuck you, you know? But then I read this book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And holy shit, like, I don't know about you, but like, this is one of the books, this is one of the books that like changed my life, right? Like there was like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which made me like realize about money and this, that. But yeah, No More Mr. Nice Guy literally changed my life. Like it made me understand like who I was, and like what my relationship to my mom was and how I was kind of using that same energy for my relationships. And it always blew up because obviously they're not my mom and there's no reason I should have been doing that in the first place. So, but yeah, like it's through therapy that like I'm beginning to understand that, you know. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But like, yeah, like go back to your question about depression. It's just like, yeah, I'm in this weird state where it's like I want to reach out, but I can't because I'm in this dark place. Especially last year when I got laid off and I couldn't find a job.
Because you're afraid of being judged?
No, it's that I wouldn't think you guys would understand. Lauren has her husband or whatever. Everybody has their thing going on, but I'm in this dark place where it's like I don't know what to do, you know, because I'm thinking about the past. I don't know what to do about the future. So like depression, anxiety kind of coincide all the time, most of the time. I want to say, at least for me, right? So like I was struggling to understand the past, but also fearful about the future. So I would never appreciate the present, right? And that to me was like my depression. And when I got laid off last year because of COVID and I couldn't find a job for 6 months, like I was in a really dark place. Fucking really dark.
Why would a job or the lack of a job have that effect on you? Because of money or?
No, I was okay on money. But the fact that like, am I not good enough for this job?
Because of the rejection?
Right. Because I would always make it to the final rounds and not get picked. Right. And, yeah, that hit me hard because it's like, is it time for a career change? Like, is it like, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean?
Subway.
Huh? Subway sandwich artist?
You'd kill it,
I didn't consider that.
You'd fucking kill it.
I'd go off. I'd go off. I'd deconstruct the fucking sandwich and everything. Like, oh, you had no idea. But no, I was in a really dark place last year because of COVID and all that. But like, no, I just made me like, it like made me think like, is it time for a career change? And yeah, I mean, I took like real estate classes and a bunch of other stuff, but like I could not get a job, you know, like basically it put me in this place where it's like, am I just not good enough? You know, cause like I would constantly make the final round, no matter what job it was. And I just wouldn't get it. Right.
So, and by the way, if like we get to personal, like
no, I mean, I love this. Like I if you asked me this about 10 years ago, I wouldn't have shared it.
Yeah.
But now I'm in a better place where it's like, I'm comfortable talking about my past, talk about like therapy and all this shit. Cause like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Nobody cares. No,
you know, I mean, I think
like
it's
the stigma and stuff like that. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that stigma is gone now just because of like, hey, we're all struggling. Like we're all struggling. Like it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
You know,
so
and that took me a long time to fucking recognize though.
I have a question. So like, what about your dad passing away hurts the most?
What it hurts the most
about it? Is it just like death itself? Because that's pretty terrifying, right?
Yeah.
For most people. Or is it like, hey, like there's a lot of things that like other people had like growing up, but I never got to have that, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I think the thing that hurts the most is like when he passed away when I was 6. That's like I said, this is when your brain receptors have just started to develop, and you like recognize your own individualism. So I recognize that, right? Like I spent a lot of time with my dad before he passed away. So like he showed me how to cook and how to live and this, that. So he showed me a lot of things.
So you guys are close.
Yeah. I remember a lot of things before he passed away. And when he passed away, it's pretty fucked up because basically we showed up to the hospital to go visit him. I mean, I thought he was doing okay. We go to the cafeteria to grab lunch. We come back, he's dead.
Okay.
And as a 6-year-old, you don't know how to process that. Like, what do you mean? I just saw him like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to process that. I mean, I feel bad for my younger brother because he was like 8 months ago. He was 8 months old. Like, he didn't even know my dad or dad. But as a 6-year-old, it's like you're just understanding the world. Like, oh, I'm me. I have my dad. I have my sister, my friends, blah, blah, blah. And I think the hardest thing about him passing away was like, what do you mean this amazing person is gone? Right? Like, what do you mean? So I think I struggled with that for years to understand that. So I took that frustration and that anger on everybody else. And it was fucked up.
Yeah, you know what? Like growing up.
Really fucked up.
I think, how old was I? I want to say like about 6 or 7, around the same age.
Yeah.
Her favorite aunt, you know.
Yeah. Somebody you're close to.
Yeah. She actually got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, fuck.
And the thing is, like, she was the one, like, after school, because like my parents worked, we used to go to her house. So she was like mom number 2, you know.
Okay.
And then she got diagnosed with cancer, and I don't remember a lot, but the one thing I do remember vividly is when she was on her deathbed.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, they had her like a really nice house or whatever, and you know, especially with like being Catholic, like it's even more creepy because it's like the priest is there, and they have the thing,
the whole process,
all that stuff, and then like, you know, being in Mexico, you have all these
traditional
old ladies like just like
praying,
just praying. And it's like it's very crazy. And I remember they left like the door cracked a little bit. And so I'm just like, they're looking, because they're in the bedroom, right? As they're giving her last rites kind of stuff, you know?
Oh.
And what I see is basically my aunt, like, you know, she's like very just sick in bed. But then kind of like while they're doing all that stuff, she's just flipping out because she knows she's going to die.
Really?
And she's like, no, because she has kids too. And she's just like, no, I don't want to die. You know, like, just being hysterical about it. And that image got burned into my brain, you know, because like she went like hysterical to like just, you know, dying. And it was so weird because like, I mean,
We're talking some deep shit, by the way. She was like, this is really deep.
She was my aunt, but I can only imagine to my cousins, I was their mom.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really, and this is why, like, the reason I want to tell you the story is that, like, it's really crazy to be so young and already get hit with that
trauma
of death. Absolutely,
because you don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, like, you squish a bug, oh, whatever, it's dead. Right. You don't really understand. Right. You don't really understand it. And for a lot of people, I mean, I still have friends that like, they have never had anybody pass away. Yeah. You know, and they're like in their 30s, and they're in their 30s. Shit. But the reality is that eventually you will. Because as I get older, like, you know, like, oh, this person from high school
still have your mom and dad?
My dad passed away about like 15 years ago. Oh, yeah, wow. But my mom, yeah.
Okay.
And you know, they deal with it. I feel like in what's in a normal timeline, as you get older, your parents, you know, pass away, or grandparents. But like for someone like you, someone for myself, like that's fucking hella young to deal with.
And I didn't understand that. Then that's why I was.
You're not supposed to. People.
I don't know if you're not supposed to.
Dude, people as adults don't understand that now.
Yeah.
You know, we don't understand any of that stuff. And regardless,
I have to grow up really fast. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I mean, dude, just imagine, like, you know, you're in elementary school and everybody's like, you know, la la la, you know, Hello Kitty, Transformers, and you're just like, yeah, like I was in the hospital and my dad died. Yeah, like that's huge, dude.
No, it is.
And so if out of that like came like violent behavior where you wanted to punch people and stuff like that, like that's okay.
No, it was not okay, to be honest.
No, but like it's understandable for sure. True. Because like, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, I guess that's life. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, no, I did a lot of stupid shit when I was a kid. I mean, I ran away from home multiple times.
You seem like a runawayer for sure.
Thanks, Carlos. No, I've slept on the streets multiple times. I was basically homeless after I left home. But yeah, no, I didn't understand. I didn't know how to deal with it.
To me, what's interesting is that you're still kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, because I put it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
And so does therapy, like, is it about, like, confronting it and...
It's more, for me, it's just trying to understand myself better to become, like, that better person, right? Because, like, there's so much trauma that I've gone through. It's like, I've just put it aside because I've been mainly focused on my career, right? Like, I know that I can channel all this, like, energy to be successful either in school or for work or whatever. But now it's come to a point, it's like, I'm not able to build these relationships with people. And now I'm trying to understand why. Right. Because I want that. Right.
You lost your mom too, right?
Yeah. I lost my mom back in 2015.
Yeah.
Through, by cancer. And, yeah. And,
what is that like now? Cause like, I mean, I in the same way, I'm just like, cause I love my mom and like, she's great.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, you know, the one day she's not gonna be here. And at that point, like,
so
the people that brought you into this world are no longer here. You know?
Right. So, I mean, my mom has been struggling with cancer she got first diagnosed. The thing is, she got diagnosed in like 2009. Within a month, it became benign tumor to stage 4 cancer.
Oh, wow.
In a month. Right. And how old was I? I don't know. I was in my 20s. But basically, it was like, oh, fuck. Right. Because stage 4 is basically like that last stage. You're about to die. Right. But my mom was a fighter. So she went through chemo, whatever. And it was in remission for a few years. And it came back a few years later. But basically, I was going through therapy at that time because it was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm about to lose my fucking mom. Right. And the therapist told me, is like, you're basically acting like you've already lost your mom. Like, just appreciate the time you have now and like do whatever you want to do. Because at the time, like, I wanted to buy a house and like buy my parents a home or whatever and be super successful, right? It's like, just do your thing, you know? Anyways, my mom was able to fight off the cancer, went through chemo, and she was well for a few years. But like 2013, I think, is when it came back. She was in and out of chemo, but she eventually lost the battle in 2015. And that was probably like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Was
like, fuck.
Was it like with her cancer, was it one of those things where, because this is what happened to like one of my friend's mom, where when she passed away from cancer and went to her funeral,
yeah,
she was kind of unrecognizable with like
her mom or her
my friend's mom.
Yeah, she was. My mom was totally because basically what happened was
it takes a toll, man. All the chemo
it does.
And all that stuff.
Right. And basically the cancer just took a hold of her body and she had tumors all over her body, all over her face. And like, I didn't recognize my mom when she passed away. Yeah. I have pictures when she passed away and I was just like, it's horrifying to look at because it's like, that's not my mom.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, that was probably one of the hardest things. I had to find a hospice for her because the doctor knew like it was her time. And so I had to find a hospice for her. And yeah, like basically when she passed away, like, I was there at the hospital bed holding her hand when she took her last breath.
Yeah.
You know, and like that was fucking hard as shit. So hard. Like, fuck. Like I would basically watch my mom, like, watch her breaths.
Yeah.
Like, is she gone? Is she not? Is she gone? Is she not? Like, and then when she finally took her last breath, I was like, oh, fuck.
Seeing how like, you know, we all
sorry, this is deep shit.
No, seeing how that is all eventually our fate, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather that like get a phone call and say, hey, Mr. Guevara, your mom's just been in a car accident, she is no longer, you know, she's dead? Or would you rather have had that last moment that you did?
That's a really good question. I don't know, man, because like losing your parents sucks, right?
Yeah,
I've lost 2 of them. But no, being there in person and actually being able to spend time with my mom before she passed away was a lot more meaningful.
Yeah,
because I was there. All right, my sister was in New York. I had to FaceTime her and be like, hey, you know, she's gone. You know, but yeah, I think I would have. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that time more because, like, at the time, my mom was still present. Like, she knew I was there. She would like
cool.
Squeeze my hand when I would tell her I was there. So yeah, that was better because like we all knew like it was already happening.
There's something about like kind of being given the chance to kind of mentally prepare yourself for that.
Oh,
right?
You can't prepare for that shit.
No,
there's no way. No, I mean, we all saw it coming. But even then, like, I was not ready to watch my mom take her last breath while holding her hand. There's no fucking way you can be prepared for that. Whether it's your mom, your kid, anybody you love.
Stuff or
No, she couldn't talk. But like, yeah, I was already at JPL at the time, and I had already just gotten my dream job, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling her like, I'm really glad you're still here, that I was able to get my dream job while you're still around, blah, blah, blah. But like, you can't prepare for that shit. There's no way.
You know what's
No way.
What's cool, or I mean, I guess, is that as a parent, like the thing that you want is to know that your kids are okay. That they're gonna be okay after you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I it's funny you say that. I tell my therapist this, like my mom was more like a passive parent. I want to say, like, yeah, she would show up to like big milestones, but anything risky I wanted to, like go to like a concert when I was 15 in the middle of the night on a school night, her answer would be, it's up to you. It's up to you. Like, what do you mean it's up to me? I'm fucking 14, 15 years old. I don't know. Like, is it worth traveling by bus at midnight 20 miles away for a concert? Like, what do you mean it's up to me? I don't know. But that was her answer. Her default answer to like anything risky or questionable I would like want to do. That would be her answer. And I'm glad that she did that, because like it would force me to basically sit back and
think
understand
about your decisions.
Yeah, think about my decisions, thinking about what the value to risk it was, like what would I actually get out of this. And most of the time I would make the right decision. I would always show up the next day for school, or always be home by the time I needed to be home. But that was her default answer. It's up to you. It's like made me think like, all right, well, let me ask a few things. Like I would ask my friends like, how far is this place? Because sometimes we would go to fucking Ventura or Norco. I don't know where that is. Yeah. It's like in Riverside or some bullshit to go watch a fucking local band to play.
How old are you again?
It's like 15, 16. Yeah. So we would go drive to Norco or Ventura to go watch a local band. Not even a local band, like a touring band, play at Veterans Hall. And I'd come home at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and be ready for school by 6 a.m.
To be young.
Right?
Yeah. Let me go.
But it was crazy. Crazy.
All right, Mr. Brian Guevara.
What's up, dude?
Welcome to the hot seat. The hot seat. The hot seat is where I ask you. I'm not sure if
like
that's
the
what I'm going to call it.
Last segment?
Yeah, super last segment.
Is how it works? Okay.
Yeah. Where I ask you 10 questions, and you just answer them honestly.
Honestly?
Oh, yeah.
Like Instagram honest, or like...
Just don't lie.
All right, well, I mean, I have liquid courage now,
right,
so
good.
We'll see what happens.
This is just so I curated specific questions so that people who might not know you can get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Okay.
All right.
All right. First of all, what's your McDonald's order?
What's my McDonald's order?
Yeah.
I haven't been to McDonald's in years.
Really?
Yeah. McDonald's is not my thing.
You're one of those, huh?
No, it's the only reason why I would go to McDonald's is because of the McRib.
Really?
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah. The McRib is tasty as hell.
Yes, it is. And
I don't care. I don't care what it's made of.
No, I don't want to know. But yeah, the only reason why I would go to McDonald's is for the McRib. And the only reason was because like growing up, like sandwiches like that like was so good to me. Like,
I thought there was gonna be some fucking sad ass story.
No.
About
like
your dad and a McRib.
No. Like I grew up eating stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like when the McRib like is a thing, like fuck yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, me growing up, McDonald's was not a thing. It was just like
really.
Yeah, no.
There was a McDonald's.
Like, why are you gonna go out to eat when like we can make food here, that kind of stuff.
There was a McDonald's on the way home from my middle school, and we would stop by there and have like Big Macs or whatever. But like the McRib is. Yeah, it's terrible, but it's so good.
You know what's cool about McDonald's is that it's not even like when you think about like, oh, what's a good hamburger?
Yeah, it's not a good hamburger. It's terrible.
It's
terrible.
What McDonald's just tastes like McDonald's
everywhere you go.
It doesn't taste like a burger. It tastes like McDonald's.
Right, you know that taste, and that's why people go. No matter like in Amsterdam, I went to McDonald's because I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, same thing. Like I told you when I went to China, I was like 2 weeks of eating all this amazing food, and I saw those golden arches, brother. Oh my god!
Right. The fries are consistent.
Yeah.
The burgers are consistent. Like, yeah, McDonald's.
I like to go to In-N-Out and then go to McDonald's for their fries and have the real
You
deal.
you think McDonald's fries are better than In-N-Out? I think Five Guys fries is better than In-N-Out. I'll fight you, bro.
Wait,
I'll fight
the
you.
Five
Guys
Guys what? Burgers?
No, fries.
Oh, I think it's universally
The fries are the
known
best.
that In-N-Out fries are trash.
They're okay.
They're like, I don't know. Do they make them in the oven? I don't know what they do.
I don't know, but Five Guys fries
it's
is
like,
better.
Let's make them in the oven and let's not season them. This will go well. You know what it is? But I like them because, they're a religious company. I feel like that's their way of being humble. Like, hey, our burgers are pretty amazing. And by the way, that's a new thing for me because I was always very just like In-N-Out, I guess. Their patties are like wafer thin, but I realize now the older that I get that it's just about the bite because In-N-Out for me gives me a perfect bite of sauce. Their bread's amazing.
Yeah.
Their veggies are fucking crisp. And so it's just a perfect bite in each. Yeah. And man, when you get to the end of it where that part has like all the sauce,
all the sauce and the cheese, the melted cheese.
The melted cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
So my next question was going to be what are your chicken nugget sauces, but you don't
chicken nugget sauce?
Yeah.
Does it depend on where I'm getting it from?
Well, no, it was McDonald's.
It has to be McDonald's.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you because like I like to get nuggets from like Jack in the Box.
I've never had their. I don't even know they have chicken strips, don't they?
Yeah, chicken strips, and I get the sweet and sour sauce from Jack in the Box.
I do from McDonald's. I do sweet and sour and hot mustard.
And hot mustard.
Yeah,
okay. I don't like the chicken nuggets at McDonald's.
Why?
I don't.
They're literally the best thing.
No, they're not. They're terrible, bro.
Are you like a?
They're the worst.
Are you like a Cane's guy,
bro? Cane's. What is Cane's?
Raising Cane's.
There's one in San Diego. I haven't been. What is that? Is that good?
It's something from the South. All they do is chicken tenders, but apparently their sauce is amazing.
No, I think chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets are the worst. I'm sorry.
Dude, when I found out, that big news story broke out, like, oh, they're made out of pink slime. As some people were disgusted, I was like, how amazing are they that they made pink slime taste delicious?
That's not what did it for me.
I was like, who knew that ammonia could be so good?
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
All right. Well,
the only thing, if I were to go to McDonald's today, yeah, it's the McRib for sure when that's out because that's only like once a year or whatever. But
I'll give you some dating advice because most people are not on your train. They actually like McDonald's, especially
Okay.
Maybe if they're drunk, they're high, even more, right?
All right.
So I'll give you some dating tips.
Dating tips.
Yeah. When you're dating a girl, figure out her McDonald's order.
Okay.
And then memorize
every girl I've dated has not liked McDonald's.
Well, that's why you're single.
That's why I'm single. Yeah.
Figure out their McDonald's order, and then one day, dude, if you can get it down to the sauces, she'll be like, "Oh my God, king! That's my king right there."
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right. Summer or winter?
Summer or winter?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only two seasons we have in LA, Southern California.
Do we?
We don't have spring. We don't have fall. It's summer or winter. To be honest, it's just summer. In cool summer. It doesn't rain.
I know, but you traveled and stuff like that. So, I mean, do you like to...
I want to say summer. For sure.
You don't like the cold at all, or?
I mean, I'm an islander. There's no fucking way I like the cold.
That's true. I have a question for you. So, are Filipino people Asian or Pacific Islander?
Ooh, that's like an
that's
SAT
a controversy.
Question. That's an SAT question because that's a question you have to fill out on your SAT questionnaire.
Are you guys Mexican Asians?
We are the Mexicans of Asia for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I to be honest, I've always filled out like Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Because I associate more with them than the Asian cultures. Then again, I don't associate with Filipino culture more.
Because were you born here or were you?
I was born in the Philippines.
Oh, you were born in the Philippines. Oh, what?
Yeah. I came here when I was 5, 6.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, we have so much in common that I didn't even know in all these years of knowing us. All right. What would you prefer? A good Mai Tai or whiskey neat?
Oh, fuck.
I like both.
For me, it's
Probably neat.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm 38 now, and I've appreciated whiskey and wine a lot more. Mai Tais were good in my 20s, but like, yeah, whiskey and neat is the shit.
You know what's funny? I'm kind of the opposite now.
Really?
Where I went through, like I said, when I was in my 20s, I worked at restaurants and all that.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole pretentiousness thing of all that stuff. So now that I'm older, I'm just like,
Fuck it.
pina colada, fuck yeah. Extra whipped cream and 2 cherries, please.
With your pinky on?
All right. Chicago, New York, or LA?
Fucking shit. Oh, with LA in there. Oh, I would say LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Why?
mean, I grew up 30 years in LA. I mean, and then Chicago would be next, and there's no way in hell you'd find me in New York.
Really?
I hate New York.
Why?
It's the worst. New York is the fucking worst. The
So-
people are terrible. It's too fast, and the food is garbage. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're crazy.
Oh, you want to
you're
fight me,
crazy.
Carlos?
Oh,
No,
food in
I'm
New York?
sorry.
Oh, you're
food in New York is garbage.
So, so right after 9/11, kind of find out, I was really pissed off about the towers falling and
as you would be.
I mean, not having seen them beforehand,
Yeah.
right? And I was also pissed off that the government did it.
whoa, that was. Wait a minute.
So anyway, so
who's a conspiracy theorist?
so when I was like in my whatever, how old I was in, I think I was 21 at that time.
Okay.
I booked a trip to New York. It's gonna be my first trip there. Had a great friend. She booked me the hotel. Had other friends that they just kind of helped out because it was my birthday,
Yeah.
right? Actually, it was really cool.
Hey, your
One of my
birthday's in
friends-
February.
Yeah, one of my friends actually, when I got to my hotel room, I had a fucking bouquet of roses. Yeah,
For a
one of my
dude, that's
friends-
weird.
huh?
For a dude to receive, that's weird.
But I appreciated it.
No, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice gesture.
It's like it came from a girl, so
Sure.
they like flowers. I'm sure she's like, people like flowers on their birthday.
I mean, blowjobs are good too,
Yeah.
but
Which is funny that you say that, but
I mean, blowjobs are to roses to. Anyways,
so I went to New York, and I wasn't sure about how I was going to feel about it.
all right. Oh, this was after 9/11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it happened in September.
Yeah.
So my birthday's in February, so
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple months, and I was like, "Where have you been all my life?"
Who's where? New York.
New York, yeah.
Really?
Why? Because I actually love the fast-paced stuff.
I don't like it.
Even though I'm pretty social, like I actually like hanging out with myself a lot. And so I love the fact that I could just go to a restaurant, party of one,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a weird thing, because so many people were doing it. I actually didn't experience the whole rude New Yorker stuff. Everybody was, especially like when I told them that this is my first time in New York. I'm visiting from LA. I just heard so much about New York.
Yeah.
So many people were like, "Oh my God, hey, we got to take this fucking guy to this fucking place because he needs to fucking like
Experience
all right,
New
yeah,
York."
Yeah, fucking, I'm going. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I mean, so many friends, for that time that I was there,
Yeah.
and it really did make me feel small in a big
Yeah.
ass city like that. And I was just like, how come we don't have cool ass buildings like this in LA? Like LA just seems so everything is so spread out.
Oh, I gotta send you this photo. Let me send it to you. This was hilarious. I found out it's basically a map of LA for New Yorkers.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucking great, dude. I was like, that's
Like, this is
110%
Queens,
correct.
Santa Monica,
Yeah,
Santa Monica, this is Manhattan. Yeah.
it's so right. it's
is.
so
It's
right.
accurate.
Anyways, yeah, no, I didn't like New York, bro. New York is not my thing.
No, I
The only reason why I went is because my sister was there and I had a friend there, and I was already there for work. But you would never catch me booking a trip to New York by myself.
really.
Yeah, if nobody was there, like I wouldn't go.
For me, I always had the fantasy of like I was gonna be like either a musician or in a creative field, have made it.
New York makes sense.
Have a loft overlooking Manhattan, having amazing Christmas parties with
Yeah.
a piano person, like everybody just like all the girls super hot. You know what's really interesting about that I because when I was thinking about New York, I just always thought like fashion, runway models. And when I went there, I was like, huh, like it's as far as like with girls wise, it's not what I thought.
It's
it
not
was
like
gonna
LA.
be. But the thing is, what I liked about them is that even like girls who would be just like 5s, right?
Did it be 10s?
Well, because the way they dress,
Yeah.
the way they accessorize, they do with what they have.
Right.
And it's like, oh shit! Like
Yeah.
in LA, you'd be a 5, but over here, like with the way you're
Uh-huh.
composed,
Yep.
you're a fucking like 9 or 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I do love about traveling back to LA is you can tell when you're on a plane back to LA, because man, everybody's gorgeous. Everybody's gorgeous. Like you could only be from LA.
I would prefer Chicago over New York
Why?
because it's a good balance between LA and New York. Yeah, Chicago is like that middle ground. People are good. Food is good. You know, like it's just
Well, it's called the second city, right?
Chicago?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like the kind of like the second biggest city other than New York. What I like, I don't know, both places like for me were just like so awesome. And especially when you come back to LA and like, dude, like after a trip to Chicago,
Yeah.
had a fucking blast. We went there to go see The Cure over there.
Whoa.
Yeah. And we went to this blues bar, right? And we were there. I mean, it was like 3:30, 4 in the morning, live music. And we were just having a blast. And they're like, last call, like ding, ding, ding. I was like, oh, what time do bars close? Like, oh, we close at 4, but we open it back up at 5. We just got to clean up. I was like, are you kidding? He was like, yeah, you guys, I mean, go across the street, go get breakfast, and then come back. I was like, okay. And then we went, got breakfast across the street from this bar, came back, and like everybody that was there was still there.
That's
like,
awesome.
It was, and anyway, so then I'd come here, you know, directly out after Chicago, that same day we get here. It's my friend's birthday, so we're going to downtown LA. And we get there, we go to the bar, and we get there like at 1:20 in the morning.
Yeah, last call 1:30.
And he was just like, sorry, can't let you in. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, we're doing last call. Like, I was like,
Yep.
having gone from that blues place to this, I was just like, LA's trash. The best thing that LA has is fucking Mexican food and the weather.
The weather is, you can get over it pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with like crime being so high, the
Yeah, like,
homelessness, buying a
yeah.
house. Like now it's like, that's why you see so many people being like, you know, New Mexico, 100-degree weather. You guys have air conditioning, right? Okay, yeah, then we're good.
I mean, that's why I moved to San Diego.
All right, next one.
Wait, aren't we on like question 11 now?
No. Oh, no, this is, that was question 5.
Oh,
all right.
Jesus Christ.
And like I said, funny that you say that. All right, number 6, blowjobs or hand jobs?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really?
Yeah.
What kind of question is that?
You were just talking about blowjobs.
I mean, blowjobs for sure.
Blowjobs?
I mean, why not?
I'm not going to ask
I mean,
why.
you can use your hands too. I mean,
Yeah, you know, if you're creative, you use both, right?
right.
All right.
Christ.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? Money's no object.
Wow. Probably Antarctica. You know, one, it's rarely traveled because it's Antarctica.
You actually, I think you have to go through like a science program thing.
No, you don't. So I worked with a buddy who actually sailed from the south of Chile or Argentina and took a sailboat with a bunch of people to Antarctica. And the reason why I would pick Antarctica
Wait,
is
Antarctica is the bottom one or the top one?
the bottom one.
Okay.
And the
Because
reason
I was
why
going to say that's a long sail if you're going up north.
no, so they took a sailboat. Everybody on the boat had a job to do, and they sailed from the southernmost part of South America to Antarctica. And yeah, I mean that's like the 7th continent of the world, right? Like nobody really goes there, and I would probably go there.
I just want to find all the Nazi
The
submarines.
Nazi bases.
Yeah, all the
and
Nazi bases that are over there.
Yeah. No, Antarctica for sure. Because like I could literally go to any continent in the world fairly reasonably priced, except
Yeah.
Antarctica. Antarctica is like 10 grand at a minimum or something like
No
that.
way, really?
Because you either have to take a helicopter down there or a plane or a sailboat. Like it's not easy to get to. And you have to, if you wanted to stay there, it's even more expensive.
Like if you want to stay there, what do you mean?
Like stay in the continent for a while and explore for a few days.
It'd be fucking dope to be able to explore. Are you are you a H.P. Lovecraft fan at all?
I am not. I've read some of his work. I'm actually listening to his book right now, the Necronomicon.
You're so lame.
I'm so lame?
Yeah.
All right.
How dare you?
I'm fucking lame.
How dare you barely get into that?
Well,
Where were you in high
I'm a
school?
late bloomer. Let's just put it that way. I'm a late bloomer for a lot of things.
So it's funny because
My voice hasn't changed yet. So.
during high school, again with my thing of metal,
Yeah.
right? I eventually because Metallica has a song called Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yes,
Right?
yes.
So I was like, oh, what is this stuff? It's like,
What
it's
is
based
what
on
is
H.P.
Cthulhu?
Lovecraft.
Yeah.
So led me through the H.P. Lovecraft thing and it read in the Mountains of Madness. And once I started, getting into that, I got the Necronomicon.
Oh shit.
Imagine my Catholic Mexican
Wow.
mother going into my room
Finding that.
finding the fucking Necronomicon. Dude.
Wow.
She's like, I don't care if this is a library book, I'm burning it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I got the audiobook, so I've been listening to it. And to be honest, it's kind of hard to listen to right now just because I don't know what it is. I've been listening to more like a lot more like academia books.
Yeah, I love those. Yeah.
It's different from what I'm used to listening to.
Yeah, it's funny because like most of the podcasts that I listen to now or audiobooks, I'm not a fan of audiobooks, by the way. It's just because like I have a long commute.
Yeah.
I
love 'em.
It's
They're
all
fucking great.
history stuff.
Yeah.
It's all like, the battle of fucking 1812, what really went down, or like
Okay.
a Little Bighorn, like testimonies from it. I was just like, oh, this is so fucking interesting.
That's funny. I listen to like investing podcasts and like
I can't do that. I'm so lame at money.
Really?
Like money, finance stuff. I'm just
I
so
love it.
Warrensville.
So I don't know if I told you, I go up to Redwood City 1 week a month for work because that's where the company's based out of. So I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks, but yeah, that's what I listen to on the way up and down.
Well,
That's funny.
I mean, just at least from what I've always gotten from you is like you're pretty good with your money, right?
I do okay. I mean,
No, I'm sorry. I'm saying like about how you manage it.
yeah. I mean, a long time ago, somebody told me no matter what you do, what profession, pay yourself first. 10, 15%, whatever it is. Whatever you can pay yourself first because that's going to pay off in the long run.
What do you mean pay yourself first?
Pay yourself first. Like before you pay your bills, before you pay your liabilities, set aside $50, $100, $200, whatever it is, and pay yourself first because you earn that money.
Like buy yourself a fucking racing Miata?
That's different. But they told me to pay yourself first. Just to this side, don't even think about it. Just pay yourself first because you earn that money. You work hard for that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. So ever since I've been working since I was 18, I've always set aside 10, 15%, 20%, or whatever it is, and just invested it and saved it and didn't even think about it. It's automatic.
See, that's the difference between you and me. Because see, like, so for the longest time, I was like, you know what? So I provide for my family, provide for Mexico and stuff like that. It's just
Sure.
me being Mexican or whatever.
Yeah.
And I realized like I don't really have
Something for yourself.
to show for it.
Right.
It's
Right.
like if I buy a car, it's like, somebody at work is selling a used Mustang, but it has stick shift. How much? $1,500? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know how many. Do you have one Porsche? Multiple Porsches?
I have 2 now.
2. Okay.
I have the Boxer Spider and the Cayenne.
So I got one. I think I told you the story before about that too. That I actually got conned into moving to the U.S.
You got conned.
Yes.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. So because I didn't want to leave, I was like, I have my friends in Mexico. Everything's here. My whole family's
Wow.
here. And they're like, no. Like, it's going to be amazing. They're like, look, you're going to get to meet Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's.
What?
Yeah. Kind of find out
Whoa.
later in retrospect. Maybe it's better I didn't, right? Or fuck it. I would have been balling, bro.
Would you really though?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he.
Wow.
I think they got taken care of.
I'm sure. I mean, it's
A little man love.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then the other thing was, I forgot what show it was. No, it wasn't Magnum because Magnum had a Ferrari, huh?
Magnum PI is a Ferrari
Testarossa,
350. Yeah, that's Testarossa. Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't Testarossa.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, it wasn't that shit. It was something else, but it was like a cherry red fucking Porsche 911 Carrera from the
Okay.
80s, right?
From the 90s, you're talking about Bad Boys?
No. This is before that. This is like in the
Okay.
80s.
All right.
And
So
I
Bad
was
Boys
just-
had Porsches.
Yeah. No. This is it was like a 1985 Porsche 911 Porsche Carrera. And I looked at that car. I was just like, oh my God. And I used to have the little car, the Hot Wheel. And all
That was
that
one of
stuff.
my dream cars. Yeah. No.
And so it's like, oh, believe me, because my daddy used to work at restaurants, so he used to do valet stuff. So he's like, I'll let you, you're gonna get to see one of those and be in one of those.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of find out neither happened. But if I were to have, there's two dream cars that I have, and it's a 85 911 red Porsche
Yeah.
Carrera. And a 65 Mercury, or 65, stupid, like a 69 Mercury Cougar.
A Cougar.
Yeah, have you seen those?
Uh-uh.
So you're more of kind of like a new car guy, right? You're not like a muscle
Yeah.
car guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with the older cars.
yeah. That car is fucking. It just screams fucking like ugh, like sick. It's gonna fucking
Really?
eat you, tear you up. Yeah, and it was kind of made like cause like Mustangs, like the 60s Mustangs, like 65s and stuff. It was more of a woman car. It was like that's what it was marketed towards. Like
Okay.
the guys drive the big cars and like, hey, we need like a muscle car for. It's not even a muscle car. It's just like a car for the ladies.
Yeah.
And so, so then what happened is Mercury released, because they're the same company.
Yep.
They released a kind of guy version of that.
And that was a Cougar.
Yeah, the Mercury Cougar. Like their parts are interchangeable. It's fucking great.
Interesting.
But I'll send you a picture of that, dude. It just looks filthy. Like
I had 3 dream cars growing up. And
what is it?
it was a Porsche 911, which is like, oh, if I made good money, I could probably afford that. The lower end of that was the Mazda RX-7, like the 93 to 95. And then the high end of that was the McLaren F1.
Oh shit!
So I don't know if you know about that car.
I
but
absolutely know about that
yeah.
car.
So they only
I'm
made
just
like
so glad you didn't
28.
say a fucking Skyline. Remember, like back in the
Skyline.
early 2000s, like, oh my god, we should have a Skyline.
No, I was not a fan of Skylines. I was
Yeah.
a fan of the RX-7s. But yeah, the McLaren F1, that was like the car. I played a lot of Need for Speed growing up. And the McLaren F1 was the car because it was like mid-engine, BMW V12, 6-speed. You got your center seat. And it was just like, holy fuck. Like nobody else is doing that, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, that was my dream car. Now those cars are like $20-30 million or something.
Yeah, it's fucking
Stupid
something
right
stupid.
now. Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
like, what year's your Boxster?
So my Boxer Spider is a 2011.
Oh, okay.
So I got another one like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I got another Porsche. I mean, so like that 911 you rode in like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like I sold that.
I remember that. And you sold it kind of like, didn't you sell it pretty cheap?
Yeah, I traded that in. I wasn't happy because it was automatic. So I got this Porsche Boxster. So it's a manual top too. So I got to get out of the car to put the top down. But yeah, I've always been like a convertible guy. So like this car is like the ultimate like convertible for me.
Dude, what's up? Because like, so one of my friends, she got a Porsche,
Yeah.
and I was like, you have to let me drive it.
Yeah.
right? And she's like, yeah. What we'll do is like, let's go down PCH and you can fucking like drive this shit.
Yeah.
Fucking red. Like it's just
shit.
It's a super nice car. But I was so let down
Really?
because like, it didn't make any noise.
What do you mean?
It's super fucking quiet. And it has the same shit as like the hybrids where like, when you're at a stop sign, it just like,
Shuts down?
it shuts
Wait,
down.
what year is this car?
Like 2020.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
one of the newer ones.
I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, what the
that's a
fuck
thing.
is this? And she was like, oh no, you can put it like in like turbo mode or some sort of mode.
Yeah,
And then like it makes more noise.
yeah, it's artificial.
But it's artificial. And then dude, I was going like 120. Quiet.
That's the thing. Like
I was like,
the Porsche 911s have evolved from like that affordable sports car to like a super luxury sports car. So like they've added a lot of like sound dampening, so you can't like, and they've added that fake noise sound where they play it through the speakers or whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound as good, from what I've read. So like the older ones, like my car, it's still, they don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. They still have like hydraulic steering. They still have a 6-speed shifter. It sounds like raw, like a car like I would appreciate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's what I was telling her. I was like, my 2006 Mustang gives me more of a oomph than this car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most
newer
cars aren't
like
stick
that.
shift anymore either, right?
No, unfortunately, no. They've kind of, Porsche and probably a few other manufacturers still offer cars in
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I think like Porsche is one of the only ones that still
Yeah.
does. If you want to get the Carrera and stuff, you can still get a stick shift.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, 3 more questions and we're done. Okay.
Jesus.
All right. If shit went down and you had to save one person, who would it be?
If I had to save one person,
One person. That's it.
holy fuck, that's hard, man.
Shit's going down. Aliens are fucking like, bzz, 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 and you have one pass to go into this thing with the Illuminati where you're gonna be saved. Who is that person?
I would have to say my vet
Your vet.
for my dog.
Oh shit! You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I need somebody. Like,
Yeah, I can't take care of my dog myself. Like, I need help.
that's
Yeah, it would
fucking
have to
dope.
be my
That's a
vet.
fucking great answer. All right, hip hop or country?
Ooh, I've never been a fan of hip hop, and there's some country that kind of sounds like punkish, so I would have to say country.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right, cool.
like the fact that like Johnny Cash music is a little country, like that works for me.
Yeah, that's true.
That works for me.
All right, I think I know the answer to this, or maybe not. Clubs or dive bars?
Dive bars. Come on,
Yeah.
bro. Come on.
You like the ladies, bro, and so like you know
What?
when you go to a dive bar, most of the girls there are going to be wearing like a flannel and shit.
Like normal people.
Yeah, but then you go to clubs, then you know they're wearing.
I mean, they
heels,
look
dresses,
good,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that's why I
dive bars
wasn't
for
sure.
sure. I mean, I spent a lot of my 20s in dive bars for sure. Like, especially in like LA and like the hipster parts of LA. Like, yeah, dive bars for sure.
Yeah. All right, my dude. Well, this was fucking incredibly
This
fun.
was awesome.
Yeah, this is incredibly fun. This might be the longest podcast that
Holy
I've ever done
shit.
because
You're
it's-
gonna cut a lot of it, right?
No. Oh, only when you go to the bathroom and stuff like that. But yeah, we're like almost at 4 hours.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Jesus.
But anyway, dude, I love you so much. Like
was
you're
awesome.
literally like one of the most amazing people that I've met
thanks,
through
man.
work, and I'm glad I got to travel with you. That we've stayed friends, like because you know a lot of the times like once you leave a company, you know you have like work buddies, right? Where you're friends at work and you'll
And
hang
that's
out
it.
at work, but once like people leave, it's just like that's
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that we manage, and actually, we definitely put in the effort to always stay in touch.
Right.
You know, with our like group of like with Lauren, Delara,
Yeah,
and Zeus
yeah.
and stuff, where we're like, hey, let's do something. Hey, let's do a Zoom call. Let's do something like.
That's the hardest thing to do, to be honest.
And just like from perspective from like just me to you,
Yeah.
you're an amazing person.
Oh, thanks,
You're
man. You too,
very
bro.
selfless. You always like, you're always into something of helping other people. You're always super humble.
Yeah, I don't know
You're
about that.
you're a great time. And like when you're telling me about like the whole depression stuff, it really puts into perspective because like all the times that we hang out have such a good time with you
right.
that never would I thought that that's what's kind of like hidden somewhere in
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives me different perspective on you, but I appreciate you. I love you.
I've always been honest, bro. Like
Always, man.
I'm transparent. So like, if you ask me, I'll fucking give you the honest answer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you like. the
You've always
Instagram
been like
answer.
that.
So-
You've always been like that. Blunt, straightforward.
Yeah, it gets me in trouble sometimes, right? So,
Yeah, but that's going to. You know? But fuck it, you know?
Yeah. Fuck
Cheers,
it.
brother.
Cheers.
Love you.